Bad dog. Rocky, are you already sleeping, dude? Look at me. Look at me, buddy. Hey. How are you that tired today? Hello. Come here. Come here. Come here. Ooh. Ooh. Come here. Come on. These are made by a company called Full Moon. It was $11.99 for 20 ounces of these sticks. They taste better than any of the store brand jerky. Ah, he lives! Come here, boy. That's all I ask of you. What are you, like a freaking locked down dangerous aminal? There, Rocky, look at me. Buddy. Hola, 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 hola. Your shitheads are already half asleep. Well, wake them up. Don't let them sleep now. Good boy, Rocky. Anyways, wall, guns, sloths. Same computer on about. Dudes, I am so fucking tired right now. Looking at a computer screen all day while trying to find sponsors is fucking tiring. Hey, if you own a business and you want to have some advertising, hello, Buff. Just reach out to me. You too could have your face plastered all over my YouTube channel. If you have a budget, or if you have an accountant and they tell you need to spend some money to avoid capital gains taxes, advertising is a way to do it. Hello, Desert. Nero, long time no talk. Also, I apologize. I spent all day trying to diagnose a problem with my computer that turns out was a problem with a drive. So I have, normally all my stuff sits on these, this style drive, NVMe SSD, the gum stick, basically, drives. Well, this one had an issue after I did like a down and dirty overclock and the audio stopped working on the computer. So I spent all day thinking it was the motherboard. So I ripped apart one of my other computers, pulled apart two other computers, and it wasn't until I tried a different computer altogether, a different motherboard, that I realized what the problem was. It turns out it was the hard drive, shiny and new. Can't forget Greg. But how's everybody else doing? It's Wednesday. It's raining. My dog is tired. I'm tired. We've literally been lumps of logs on the side of the butt of life. Sweatshirts, or excuse me, the hoodies. We've actually pre-sold a few, so 47 of those left, 45 bucks a piece. I am going to do another run of the Jimmini Show t-shirts. I never promised it was going to be a solo run, so we're going to be doing so. Make sure you get signed up for those. You can email me, thejimminishow@gmail.com, or you can call my store. Just email me and I'll give you the number. Jimmy Kimmel, back on the air. After they backed off from being hyper vigilant about people talking about a person. And to be clear, I am not defending, I am not offending, I am not representing, I am not virtue signaling, I'm simply stating a fact. Jimmy Kimmel should never have been pulled from the air. It was one of the stupidest things that was done by a governing body such as the FCC. Unfortunately, our potato in chief has decided that he's going to run the country out of pocket, and he's instituted so much fear that people are afraid of him now. So the FCC got a tweet or a call from Trump's administration, more than likely, speculating here. You all right, buddy? And they pulled Kimmel, and the backlash was immediate and severe, and what they were trying to say by pulling Jimmy Kimmel is that free speech doesn't exist. Now, to be clear, there's a difference between free speech and hate speech. Saying that you want somebody dead or you encourage people to kill somebody, that's hate speech. Making a joke or questioning a governing body in a monologue does not qualify as hate speech. It didn't incite people to violence. Rushing the Capitol because you lost the election is infinitely more dangerous than saying that you don't like your administration. Enjoy your video, but plugs are nice. What do you mean? Of the company wanted to pull, that's okay. A governing should not have had control, though. That's going to be our problem. Let's take a look at what we got here. Well, that's the thing, Justin. Yes, a private company is well within their rights to pull somebody because they felt that the person did not say something that met or aligned with the ideals and the purpose of that company, such as ABC and Disney. The problem is they didn't make the decision. The FCC threatened them, and then they pulled it. And Trump threatened the FCC or suggested to the FCC that they ask ABC to remove them. That is an overstep. A thing that a lot of you don't understand is our amendments don't allow us to do whatever we want. The First Amendment, the protection of freedom of speech, doesn't allow us to just actually say whatever we want. It protects us from the government censoring us. The exact thing that the government did is what freedom of speech protects us against. Because the government insisted that he was pulled, that was the government violating the First Amendment. If a company, if YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok decides that they don't like something, they are well within their rights to remove us, but not if a governing body tells them to. Yo, dude, you good? Yeah, James. Yeah, I say whatever I want, yet you were censored because I don't allow that word. Against an innocent man, that's wrong. That's what Kimmel did. So, yeah, that'd be like me expressing my opinion. I think Donald Trump is a walking, talking carrot and shouldn't be president. That's not justifiable to remove me from this platform unless that was against their terms of service. But they don't have that in their TOS. And it doesn't not align with the mission of YouTube, because the mission of YouTube is get money, fuck everybody else. So for YouTube, if I do something controversial, even if they pull me, they're going to monetize off of it. So anybody that makes any kind of video, let's say I got removed for some reason and somebody else made a video on it, I guarantee you that that video will be monetized because YouTube wants to make money. But if they cow down to a government agency to remove me because of what I said, then they're violating First Amendment. You're a smart old man. I hope to be as wise as you. Thank you for saying that. Against an innocent man, that's wrong. That's what Kimmel did. What are you talking about? I need to understand more what you're saying, Desert. Are you saying that the person that stands accused of killing Charlie Kirk was innocent? Or are you saying the government was innocent?
There we go. Let me just walk right in there.
Me too. I agree about Trump. Yeah. You said permitting it. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to understand. Can you rephrase what you're saying so that I can understand it better? Are you saying they're persecuting him, or did you believe that the government did the right thing by violating free speech by having a civilian removed from the air? I can't read down farther. Whatever you typed hasn't appeared yet in my screen. So, Bruce, what's going on? Did you get your upper today? Should have.
Just around the corner. Okay, moving on.
Old guns, question marks. Hamad, I'm not a huge fan of old guns. I've got a few that are older-ish. I've got stuff like the Star Arms Fire Star, and I've got some older guns, but they're not really what I want to. You haven't been home yet. Oh, yeah, that's true. What is it, about 5 o'clock? So you're about done, right? I am neither, Armani. Also, my political associations or affiliations or approval should not in any way affect you, your decision of me. If I'm a dumbass, you should look at me as a dumbass because I'm a dumbass. Hey, Scooter, your fucking comment was blocked. So I didn't see your fucking comment. But if you want to be an instant gratification 2025 woke idiot, Win City for the win. Thank you. Just hoping you're a good guy. I'm a very normal person, but coming in and asking me if I'm a Trump guy or a Kamala guy nearly a year after the election, there are better ways to phrase your question. Where's your PC case? It's sitting on a table over there. I sold the processor and one of my drives died, and I need to prep for my new build, but I can't afford it yet. You're from South Africa. Please help me how to own a firearm, please. I'm in the United States, sir. I don't know the regulations for owning firearms in South Africa. You need to speak to a gun distributor or a gun seller in your country, sir. Brooke, what is going on? Everything is adequate. It's the best way I can put it. So as I'm getting closer and closer to 200,000 subscribers and things like that, I'm getting more and more offers from companies. The problem I'm having with a lot of those is companies right now are trying to only do affiliate marketing with channels. Affiliate marketing is not as good as you might think. Now, for somebody that streams every day, has thousands of followers on those streams, things like that, affiliate marketing can work. But for me, the way my company or the way my channel works, that doesn't work for me. Also, I don't work for those companies. Affiliate marketing is literally me working for free to help them sell a product that they'll pay me for after they sell it. That is stupid, especially if they want a video. If they want to sponsor a live stream, that's a different story. But they want me to do videos on their products and then pay me if any of them sell. And then I have to trust them that they're actually tracking them correctly. Get a fucking life. I don't need the exposure. I have an hour left at work, but it's a little slow. Well, I hope it goes well, Mr. Banner. Ever heard of the Star 30M? It's a nice shooter, all steel DASA from Spain. I've probably heard of it, but I've never seen one personally in person. That is a double way of saying I've never seen one. Is that a Ruger Mini 14? No. It is a 1022. Do you know of any good 22 long rifle ammo besides CCI? I like a Gila Super, which is pretty solid. Some of the federal stuff, like the Punch, that's good ammo. Tyrone, what is going on? Are you a Marvel or a DC guy? Traditionally, I'm a Marvel guy. I respect DC. I like some of the storylines. I really liked when Batman was more violent. But as it is, I'm more of a Marvel guy, and I'm not really a Marvel Universe, DC Universe kind of a guy. I'm just a comic guy for the most part. Although the new Superman movie, holy shit. For those of you that don't know, if you have Disney or Hulu or wherever the fuck it's streaming right now, you can actually watch it. It just released today for streaming. I have an ingrown hair right here, and it's really pissing me off. So if you see a grown man cry because he pulled out a beard hair, that's why. I don't have nails either, which sucks. 1020 Ruger runs special editions all year round. They team up with Talo, Talo. They do tons of custom editions. When they did the engraved 1022 editions, like the boar, the tiger, the snake, etc., they were like $400 rifles, and they were super hard to get. Have I ever shot a Colt 733 AR? I have not. I do not own a Colt Smith or Model 19, or excuse me, I do not own a 686 or a Model 19. I'm not really a revolver guy. I got a GP100 SP101. Sorry about bringing an asshole last night. Was late and not fiending. Yeah. Oh, you were an asshole last night? Sorry. I think I got it. Lloyd says, cool. Yeah, get in here and ask me questions. I'm more of an answering questions guy versus topical guy. So I already talked about Kimmel. He's back on the air. Trump's administration is a bunch of douche nozzles. Did you also see they hired back hundreds of federal employees that were laid off because of Doge? So, sure, Schwann's a lot. Hey, what's going on? Interesting name. You have a flint knock. You have no idea what you're saying, but no, if you're referring to flint locks, no. AKs are superior. Negative. AKs are good. Actually, I take that back. Yeah, they're superior to rocks and high points. I forget. Do you got black powder shit? No, but I can order it. All my distributors carry it, so if you're looking for something, just let me know. Cody says, how are you? I'm hanging in there. Your most hated gun. My most hated gun company is Glock. So any gun that Glock manufactures is not on my list of gotta have them. As for an individual firearm, my Chiappa M922 that I had. Chiappa is my second least favorite company, but I had a Chiappa M922 that I shot a total of 8 rounds out of. Paid over $300 for it, and it broke immediately. Never fired right after I repaired it, and it wasn't my repair that failed. It was their fucking build quality when you take it apart. The way it came apart, if you fully disassembled it, reassembling it was extremely unforgiving to bending, but everything was spring-based in that gun, so it was just stupid. Tommy, boy, what is up? Have you ever seen the bolt-action Mossberg & Sons with the fold-down front stock? No, but I'm about to look that up. Javier, what's up? High point 9mm rifle is the best gun on the market. You know, I will put a caveat to what you're saying. When they were sold for $200, yes. At $400, fuck no. I want a King Ass black powder to go with the Billard's cannon. King Ass black powder. Send me a link. But hold on. Mossberg & Sons with fold down front stock. You got the exact model number for me? Is it the 152 with the integrated single point front stock? I mean, technically it's a front grip, but yeah, that's freaking cool if that's the one you're talking about.
We're probably gonna be here for a while.
I've seen guns with that style of integrated front things. I was,
It's gonna be a good day.
have I seen the hot dog gun? Nope. Long ass black powder. Don't want to spend too much on it though. How much? Got a 62 caliber Northwest trade gun. Killed 3 elk with its full far. Longest shot at 130 yards. Damn. It's over with for Glocks and Cali. I might cry. Why? I really want a nice larger caliber bolt action rifle with wood furniture. What would you recommend? What caliber are you talking about? Like a 30-06, things like that. Look at Remington 700s. They make some nice wood stuff.
Nice.
Are those all the ground? All the
And we got
Are those all the guns you have on the wall? No, they are all guns on the wall though. Boom, 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 boom.
that'd be nice. Got some notes here. Let's see.
That's it. Nice 22. Yeah, not too expensive either. A couple $100. Just picked my Beretta 1301 Mod 2 today. Unfortunately, it's the non-choke model. Ah, you'll be fine. 1,300 bucks and you've taken 3 elks. I'd say you got your money out of it. Damn, Florida hoodlums are going to start open carrying. I need an outside the weight span for the yeet. Only to have on the farm. I have zero desire to open carry in public. When open carrying becomes legal in a state that didn't previously have it, yes, you see a lot of questionable people open carrying just because while they haven't been charged with a crime, they probably shouldn't own guns. 1301 is overpriced. You don't know what he paid for it. Why do you think it's overpriced? For a semi-auto shotgun? No, it's not.
What do we got here? We'll take it.
Would I rather hold a large-sized gun in my hand or a average-sized gun?
Let's see what you got.
What do you consider average? And we're not talking like your girlfriend says it's all right. I mean, what do you mean by average size gun? Give me a model. Like, are we talking Glock 17 versus 19, Beretta 92 versus an 84, a 1911 government versus a 1911 officer? What are we talking about? What difference? Nice. Is that a Ligma 2? Only if you Ligma 2 nuts.
And nice.
Lifetime warranty as well, so yeah, worth the price tag. No kidding, right? So I'm open carry the yeet cannon on the farm. Do you have a yeet cannon? Do you need a yeet cannon? I've got a yeet cannon. You would pay $1,600 because that's what they are new. If you're paying $1,600 for a 1301, you're fucking stupid.
We have looked at our next raid. Got a kitty cat.
Number one, they're mapped at that price, but you're not paying that much for one. If I was selling one, it would be less than that 100%. And if you're bitching about that, get a 300 Ultima, get an A300 Ultima, which is like a baby version without the pistol grip, and you can get those for $1,000. So saying it's overpriced just because you don't like the price doesn't mean it's overpriced. Overpriced means staccato. Staccato sells a $1,500 gun, the XC, a $1,500 gun for $4,000. That's overpriced. A Beretta, for what they're charging it for, gets you the quality that you're paying for. And they give you options if you don't want to pay full price. It's kind of like the way Mossberg does the Maverick 88, the 500, and the 590. All share components, not all components, but they all share components, but you walk up the stack in terms of price range. So you can't say something, any 12 gauge at 1K is overpriced. No, any pump action 12 gauge at 1K is overpriced. Again, you're giving your simple opinion. You're not actually stating what the market bears. You don't think a 12 gauge at $1,000 is worth it. But a semi-auto reliable 12 gauge, just because there's Turkish shit out there at $500 to $700 doesn't mean the good stuff isn't worth what they're charging. You just don't want to pay that. You need to understand the difference in your sentence. You're giving your opinion about the price. if the gun wasn't worth $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, the market wouldn't pay that unless they have great marketing like Glock and Staccato. Those guns are overpriced. Those ones, there's no doubt. Dale, what is going on? How's the new whip? It's pretty good. I haven't driven it too much. So, again, I'm not trying to beat up anybody that says a $1,000 gun is overpriced. I just need you to understand that where your opinion and where you come from is different from what is the widely accepted rhetoric for it. Just chilling, been busy all summer. Hope all is well. Yep, everybody keeps on saying that. E.T. movie scared me when I was younger. My little brother, too. I used to freak him out. Elliot. Oh, yay. We're having internet issues today. What's up, Machida? Not the first time I've heard that. That's true. I'm in Arizona. Guns have seriously went up in value. I don't know about where you're from, but every time I look Midwest or East Coast, highly inexpensive than out here. Regions definitely matter. As you get closer to the West Coast, for some reason, the price goes up. Not sure why. Which is also funny because 2 of the major manufacturers have warehouses in Arizona. Not manufacturers, but distributors. Brother, do you have a 92 FS? I have them here and there. I don't always keep one. They're all infinitely replaceable because there's so many of them out there that if I get a good price for one, if somebody offers me a good price for one, I'll always sell it. Do I think that the Mossberg 590 Shockwave for $500 is a decent price? Yes, because the 590 is the top of the stack. Now, if you were to get like, so a lot of people will compare it to like the G-Force Arms or even the Rock Island shorty shotguns. The Mossberg definitely uses better parts. So you're going to have less time involved in tuning it, less time involved in breaking them in. A lot of the Turkish shotguns, especially the semi-auto stuff, people don't realize. By the way, Joe, what's up, man? A lot of times people don't realize that Turkish stuff needs a lot of break-in because their fit and finish isn't that good. 1301 to 1600 all day. And you'll see that on the shelf that they're running at that price, but it also looks like Beretta has raised the cost of them. Pick up front. FNX 45 Tactical, what's your thought on that pistol? FNX was the last FN line that I was willing to recommend. I don't recommend the 5 series, so like I don't recommend the 545 Tactical. The FNX 45 is an amazing handgun. There's a reason why it was used by SOCOM. I got a Glock 45. You have any Glocks? Yeah, I've got 7, but I don't like them. Thoughts on the XD40? Not a 40 cal fan, but the XD is a solid gun. We are in the best time for buying guns for price and mart or price for the hassle. I want a shorty 590 so bad I'm disabled. Shorty 590s are fun, but they're a bit of a handful. Holy shit, he's already asleep. He is twitching. Hello, Rundown. They're just these nuts. Can shotgun shells be made waterproof? I mean, if they're completely sealed, I mean, no ammo is technically waterproof. I like my 510. You would. Yes, my Turkish gun needed much break-in. 200 more rounds before it dies. Good for a range toy, cheap but not a serious thing. Exactly. I mean, that 590, Joe, I expect that you'll probably be able to run it its entire life without cleaning it. That's how reliable Mossbergs are. You'd like an FN. He does like FN. I agree. The 5 Series is better than Glock, except for the fact that it's way more expensive for no reason. Jansen, what's up, dude? I saw you did a video on your, whatever that was. How often do you clean them? I clean my guns after every range trip. You don't need to clean a gun that just sits unless you live in an extremely dusty area. I live in Northern Virginia. I don't have that problem. I do have to blow them off if they sit up there for a week because my dog drops a lot of hair. guessing that Diffie is spamming. How much the FN is actually worth versus how much the Glock is actually worth. I think you overpaid more than I did, not including Dylan. Obviously, I'm talking about MSRP. What? Wait, what the fuck? Who's Dylan? What did Dylan say? Warrior of the Almighty, would I trade all of my guns for a real alien gun? No. Do I like the new ART triggers? Never seen one. I bet you blow them well. Lol. Yeah, clip it and chip it. Hey, everybody, my favorite pastime is blowing stuff. Clip it. Guns are very common sense. Sadly, many don't have it, and yes, you clean after a range out of habit. I do it just because it's cathartic, and it also makes me feel better knowing my guns are clean. The only guns I don't clean after range trips are Glocks, and that's just because I hate them. And that's also a lie. When I shoot one of my Glocks, I clean it. I just don't take them to the range. I had a Ruger P94. It was a tank of a pistol. Was chambered for 40 short and weak. Yeah, unfortunately, the P94s were. You could always swap it out and get a P89 if you like the gun. Well, agree on FN and a Glock are worth less than what MSRP is. The gap between the MSRP on each firearm is larger for the FN. Yes. But I also think the FN, FNX, FNP, FNS lines had much better quality for their price difference. So if you also factor in the quality and fit and finish of the guns versus the price point difference, it's a lot closer. Because the Glock don't have to be clean, they just run. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. But do you know why, Joseph? I've said it a million times on this channel. Do you know why Glocks and AKs just run? It's because their design is shit. They're designed in the most mediocre way possible to guarantee they run. They don't have good tolerances and are reliable guns. They're reliable guns because they have terrible tolerances. They have loose tolerances. They run because they're mediocre, yet they charge premium money. You sell the Glock for $300, I will never complain about it. If Glock dropped the price of all their Glocks, regardless of the model, because they're all the exact same gun, if Glock dropped all their prices to $300, I would never say another bad word about them. But $600 for an optics cock, an optics cut Glock 19, they can go fuck themselves. It's a $300 pistol. They've built enough of them. They've amateurized the cost throughout the entire production run. There's no reason to charge that much except for they have Apple mentality. It's not a standpoint. It's a proven fact. It's the same reason why an AK runs. And I love AKs because I can usually find them cheaper if you know the right people. But an AK runs the same way. An AK will run reliably because their tolerances are terrible. They're rattly, they're loose, they're junk. But for what they cost, if you can find them at the right time from the right people, you know, when I've paid $350 for an AK, $500 for an AK, I'll do that all day long. It's a 30 caliber rifle for $500. I've heard it hundreds of times. You've heard it hundreds of times because it's absolutely true. It's kind of like Bible thumping, but in terms of Glock. More expensive, but I'd rather pay it over getting Glock. Glocks are boring. Is the KS7 reliable? I've never done like a burn down test with one. They shoot okay. Reliable-ish for a pump action, but I don't know if I'd call them reliable. It's Michael says, how are you? And I said, fine. Mystical says I asked a question. Well, it obviously got held by the system because I didn't see it. So ask it again. If you're typing cuss words and stuff, it may get held by the AI. I love my SP01 Tactical and my P01, Austin Pistols. Yeah, I recently sold my P01. I still have my SP01. So, what's up, Devora? You're just jealous because I have 7 movies and you don't, unless you count your OnlyFans. I paid 14 for a Zastava Z PAP 70 with the rail and folding stock. Was not pleased as I thought I'd be with it. That seems like a lot for that, but yeah. Sorry to hear that, dude. I've heard the KS7 kicks like a mule. Oh yeah, it has no real padding. Like that has an extended base pad on it, which does help. But like a stock one, it's kind of like shooting a large caliber lever gun back when they had brass butt pads. It does not feel good. I will never fight you that Glock is inferior to a 1911. 1911s are the best handguns, period. Even junk ones have better triggers than a Glock. Yeah, it's sad that the Zastavas have gone up so much in price. Like, I can get an underfolder right now, and they're mapped at 1200. The side folders are, I think you overpaid though, dude, because the M70 with the dong and everything, that should only be, oh no, you paid sticker. Okay. Yeah, it's still, I think they're still like $400 too expensive. If they were $1,000, I'd probably care less about them. How's your doggo? He is sleepy. Today was a lazy day. He played for 2.5 hours at the dog park, and now he's just been probably going to get one day and just tell you, send Joe a couple hundo of support because I'm getting tired of this shit. What are you talking about? Oh yeah, if you want to pay for a Glock, I'll send him one. Is the system stopping my question because I'm missing shooting? It all depends, dude. Like you said, it could have also tried hitting at the same time as somebody else's question. I see it now. I own a 6.5 for shooting deer. Would you suggest me going for a 273 if I'm upgrading? It depends on the distance you're going for, Mystical. 273 is probably better at the intermediate ranges, but 6.5 will go farther. No 7.5 Burno. Zastava definitely went up. Yeah, I've been out of the retail market side of Zastava for a while. I didn't realize that one. Wish I would have bought stock and went with JMac aftermarket stuff. Yeah, but still, man, even their base model is $1,200 now. I didn't realize they went up in price. That's stupid. High point carbine or sub 2K? Honestly, the high point probably shoots softer than the sub 2K because the sub 2K has the reciprocating bolt by your face. Where's your PC case, bro? It's sitting on the desk over there. It's partially disassembled. I'm doing a build in the Corsair 1000D, but I don't have parts yet. I'll have to shoot up to 400 with the 6.5, which is crazy. I'm down in Ireland, so I own two 6.5s and a 270. Yeah, I mean 400, either one would be solid. If you like the 6.5 platform, it's very good at that distance. But the 270 will hit 400 probably pretty easily. Or the 273, excuse me, was $1,000 when I was looking. Yeah, Zastava, after the Russian ban, like Russian import ban on guns from that area, or the American ban on Russian guns from that area, price went up on all the imported stuff that were still legal. Kind of interesting to see, though. 30-06 is the best deer cartridge on the market. 30-30 has taken more deer than any other cartridge, though. I can't seem to find 9mm ammo anywhere. Every place I go, I just seem to have 9mm. Can't find 9mm. Oh, that's because you need to turn the box on its side so it matches the way that 9mm are held. So, like, if you hold a 9mm like this, you'll notice that if you hold it correctly, it says 9x19 on it. When you hold it like this, everything is weird. So, yeah, you have to hold the box of 9mm sideways, and it will be 9mm. Be looking to upgrade soon because of the barrel getting so old and rusty, gone into a safety hazard I don't want to fix. I'd rather upgrade. Well, like I said, if you've shot both and you like both, at 400 yards, either one will do you. 100%. There's tons of good deer cartridges. It's mainly just preference. They only sell 9mm in Chirac. Thanks, I'll give that place a try. Yeah. Lambo, do you have a Glock 40? No, and neither did the dude that said he had a Glock 40. He had a fucking high point. But no, 40 caliber is a stupid cartridge and nobody should use it. Be a man, get a 10 mil. Learn to handle recoil. Or don't buy a Glock. It's light. Yeah, whatever. Brooks, sometimes it depends on if you're sighting in your rifle. Some bullets will go everywhere because of a different reaction from the gun. Have any knowledge on the Panzer M4? The price is intriguing in comparison. Personally, I have no hands-on experience with it because I am not a long gun channel. I'm mostly a handgun channel. However, PewView, P-E-W-V-I-E-W, he actually did a full test comparing the M4 to the Panzer to the Orthos, whatever theirs is called, or the Raider or whatever it was called, and he actually really likes the Panzer. So check out his video. Yeah, don't spam. I'm not answering questions when you spam. Thank you, Stone. You broke your VR remote. Yes, you did. You haven't been on since they fixed some things, dude. I'm getting a bunch of key cards of it together too, so when you finally get your shit together, we can play. Opinions on the Taurus GX2. I really don't have much hands-on experience with it because I don't work in a gun store every day, so I have no reason to buy one. However, if I get sponsors, I may start buying some of the stuff I don't really like just to test it. It's definitely situational, Mystic, but there are tons of good options that'll do the job. Oh, yeah, absolutely. The main thing is we're talking about the two cartridges that you're looking at. Either one are, in my opinion, interchangeable in terms of efficacy. Did I go to the range yesterday? No, I did not. I have a lot of shit going on in my life right now, Stone. I don't have time to go to the range. As much as I want to, also I don't have the guns that I want right now. So, life sucks. That's why I haven't put out a video in a week. If you guys haven't noticed, the only things that have been published have been my live streams this last week. I have had zero interest in making videos. I still have to make the Daria video. I need to make a video on the Firestar. The Sphinx needs an updated video because it's been 3 years since I had one on the channel last. I need to do a follow-up on that. I haven't done one on the Chronicle yet. Yeah, so a lot of these guns, I haven't sent your fucking gun out yet. I haven't done one on the Hammerly yet. So, yeah. Life is just me, my dog, and sitting on my ass. Well, just be careful because New Zealand proved that you could lose to emus even if you have 30-06s. Let's see them knockers. $500 I'll put on the titties right now. How's your dad's COVID? I don't know. He hasn't been. We don't message much when they're on vacation. Here's the thing, guys. I'm weird in that I don't give a shit what you're doing on your vacation. If I'm not with you on your vacation, I don't care about your vacation. So my parents post all over Facebook about their page. Their vacation is all over Facebook. They post every day from every location they go to. I don't know where they are right now, and I don't care. I love them to death. I love my family. I love my friends. I don't give a shit what you're doing if I'm not with you. That's a me problem, though. I have emu, and I'm scared of a runaway flock. That would be sucky. 20 in a deal? Fuck that, dude. I made 1,100 last time I wore the titties. 500 is a steal. Sup? I opened a micro dagger fray. I'm poor but smart. Piece by piece makes a gun sooner or later. That's the way to do it, Guns. I mean, I bought that one on sale for $39. Face vacation book. Yeah, pretty much, dude. I'm not afraid of a runaway flock. I am. Do I have the Xbox 360? I have a Xbox 360. I don't play it. I don't play console at all. I'd rather play with my computer on a box. No. Also, Stone, I already sold the chassis, so if your friend hasn't responded, sorry. I can get him a new one for a little bit more. Are you typing with your penis, dude? Where's all your guns? I bought a car. I needed money, so I pawned a bunch of my guns because I needed money because I'm a dumbass and I bought a car.
Call me a liar. I guess we're not getting out of here yet. We got 8 minutes though.
But if you guys want to help the channel, buy a hoodie. We're gonna start. I'm gonna start them on getting them made after the first of the month. They're gonna be OD green, black, and gray. They're gonna have the Jimmini Show logo on them. Still trying to decide whether or not we can get the zip ups at that price. I don't think we can because the ones that would be able to be sold at $45 will be cheap ass zip ups, and those zips won't last. So, yeah. No, I'm not selling any of my personal guns. I own an FFL, so if you need to order something, I can get you probably a better deal than a lot of people. Was I in the military? No, sir, was not. Well, my transmission just went out. I need money too. Fuck. Sorry to hear that, dude. What kind of car? You have 4 babies that you let the kids feed. Nice. An F-150, 2008. Oh, yeah, it's never fun when those transmissions go out. Dave says, good night, dude. Good night, Dave. You have a good one. If you're over on anybody else's live, tell them Joe said hi. One of the best purchases was my Maverick 88 Security 12 for $150. That's a good price. They've gone up a bit. Typically, new price is between $220 and $250. So, yeah, $150 is a great price. Should have bought a Toyota. Yeah, not a new one, though. Have you seen what happens to those bastards? And then an '08 Toyota Tundra or something of an equal size is way more money, man. That's the only downside to that part. Wasn't going to talk about it, but my Ford's transmission is slipping. Yet, I tell people I buy a Doty, and everybody gets pissed off at me. I'm ignoring it, think I may go back to work full time. Sorry, brother. It's got a 14 F-150, 5.0, 4x4 single cab short bed. Look forever for one hard to find with the shorter frame. Yes, Ford actually discouraged dealers from ordering them. I was selling brand new Fords when they were available. They were very much discouraged from ordering them because they didn't want people building their own Lightnings. That 5.0 engine is so adaptable to power, especially superchargers and shit, that people could build a Lightning easily, and they didn't want people doing that. Yeah. Another F-150 that a lot of people don't really know about, they sleep on it, is an FX4 F-150 is like a street version of the Raptor. It's available with the 6.2, 411 horsepower V8, but a lot of people didn't realize that. So you could order, and here's the best part. When I was working at Ford, my inventory manager didn't even know that you can get them. But you can get 6.2 F-150s, and then you add the Roush supercharger to them, and you're making about 700 horse, and they're street trucks because they take the same supercharger that the Raptors do. I have had ray guns up there, Anthony. It's cool to hear, man. I love the look of them. Yeah. It's not an arsenal, John Boy. It's just a collection. An arsenal suggests that they get used by multiple people. No motherfuckers outside of people that pick use my guns. What's the two-door they dropped the other year that can make over 500 horsepower without hardly any work and a low amount of money? Too bad it was not a four-door. What? Ford? I don't know. You ate anything good today? Salad. Not a tossed one. Thankfully, there were no brown rings. No, I just ate salad today. Rocky gets stew, canned stew, $4 a can stew, and I had a $2 bag of shredded lettuce with Italian dressing. Jason says hi. Hello. Be careful, Jason. One more and you wind up getting pulled for spamming. Ford made one. Can't go look at. I'm playing darts. Is that why your typing's bad? You hit your hand? Probably the tremor. I think they did an F-150 tremor. I know the one you're talking about. It's in the new body style, but I can't remember what they actually called it. They didn't call it the Lightning because the electric truck is the Lightning. I've been eating spinach like a mother lover that I grew. I'm so over it. Why would you grow spinach willingly? Are the hoodies still available, and are they all black? They are available. They are black, gray, and we're going to do some in OD green. So it all depends on what the pre-orders are. So there's 47 left. They need to bring back the Jeep Comanche. They kind of did in the Gladiator, but I understand what you mean. They need to make a single cab variant of it, and that would be cool. Because it costs nothing to grow and it's consistent. Oh, and you're doing crop rotation. That makes sense. If you're protecting ground, sure. For those of you that aren't farmers, if you farm one type of crop year after year after year, you will destroy the land that you're growing out of. Rotating your crops allows different minerals to be absorbed by the crops. Not all crops require the same feed or whatever, the chemicals and shit. So if you don't rotate your crops, you can strip out your land in like 4 to 8 years or something like that. How do I pre-order on the website? No, you got to send me an email at thejimminishow@gmail.com. We can either talk directly on the phone and you can pay over the phone with a credit card, or you can Cash App it. So you're a Ford guy or an ex-employee? Actually, I'm a Dodge guy. I own a Ram and a Charger. My dad owns a Ram and a Challenger. My mom owns a Subaru, so she doesn't hurt anybody. But no, I worked at Ford because I started in the business back in 2000. I was selling independent, so I sold everything, but mostly domestic because my boss liked domestic vehicles. Eventually, we wound up selling foreign cars. And then when I moved here to Minnesota, from Minnesota, I decided I didn't want to work for Dodge because at the time, 2012, I didn't like the way the Challenger looked. I didn't like the way the Charger looked. They didn't change until 2014, 2015. So I went to work for Ford, and I wound up buying a Mustang. But since then, I've had all kinds of cars. I'm a car guy, so I'm not like super like dedicated to not buying a type of car. It just has to be the right version of a car. Like I had a really nice Lexus ES300 or 350 for a while. It's hydro in the kid's closet. Oh, that's just weird. How would you defend your residence from a large woman? Large women are the best sexual partners you can have. They're very giving and loving. I have a 93 F350 XLT with the 460 and an Allison. I trade all of my ex-wives for that truck back. Wow, Allison did them back then? That's cool. That was a real Allison transmission. It's not that fucking license shit that companies use now. Patrick, I'm back again. Nice. You usually dodge anything Dodge. Lol. Says the man with a Ford with a bad transmission. Also, I just got rid of my Navigator, so it's not like, again, I don't dislike them. What Mustang did you end up with? So I was working for Ford in 2014. I wound up buying a 2014 Mustang GT track pack. I actually worked there from 2012 to 2016. But I wound up buying a 2014 track pack, manual transmission, obviously. Track packs were the only ones available with that. With the Brembo brakes, the engine oil cooler, the remote oil coolers. Yeah, so I had a track pack, and it was a 14. So 13, 14 were the only years with the HID headlights and the LED taillights. It was a gorgeous car, and I paid under 30 grand for it. I've an M17. LL got me. Sorry, man. I had to do it to you. I have a 2004 Monte Carlo. Nothing wrong with that. My wife's a little overweight. I get with whatever, and I'm spoiler. I want to talk to your wife. We should always tell those we care about that we do. Agreed, dude. You never know when you won't be able to speak to them again. So I make the jokes that I don't care that my parents are on vacation. Yeah. If I never saw my family again, it would probably really affect me. Close your eye. So Rocky lost some of the whiskers over his left eye when whatever happened to his head happened, and because of that, he's not closing that eye all the way right now. So he's sleeping with it partially open. Do I watch Hickok? Not unless I'm looking for information on a specific firearm. He's fine. He's just not mine. What do you do for work? Nothing. I'm retired. I do own an FFL, but I'm doing appointments only at this point. What's your favorite revolver? Ruger GP100. Sent an email for the sweatshirt. Yep, I'll check it in a second. What's your favorite gun that you own? Any of my 1911s, and then probably my Dan Wesson DWX. Oh no! An account I don't have anymore is... I'm answering back to you, Swoop. Just give it a second. All right, so I sent you back a email, brother. Gunner, what's your favorite revolver? I think I already answered that one. Do you like the Glock 19X? No. Opinion on M17s. I'm not a fan of base model guns, and an M17 is a base model gun. Mine is fully customized. It has a compensator, X trigger, extended barrel, custom finish on it, custom frame, so... 33, long time no talk, man. Favorite on the wall tonight? Nothing different from last time, man. Probably still my Sphinx. And what did I carry today? Nothing. Didn't carry anything. My syncope's been really bad. Last thing I need to do is pass out with a gun on me. Is the top rifle a 1022? Yes, it's actually the 1022 Target bull barrel. It has the thicker stainless barrel on it. It was originally in an A-team style side folding chassis. I got rid of that. Ryan, what's up? Nah, jaw. Do I have a switch? Well, I'll answer your question with a simpler answer. Switches are illegal. Have I ever held or shot a minigun? Never shot a minigun, never held one, but I really want one. What are your thoughts on Charlie Kirk saying gun deaths are mandatory for Second Amendment rights remaining a permanent fixture, just considering he is victim of what he preaches? Think about what happened. He was killed for his opinion. He was a believer in his opinion. Somebody else killed him for their opinion, and that was their opinion. So just saying gun deaths are mandatory, yeah, unfortunately gun deaths are going to happen. In a society that has firearms and criminals, there's going to be a problem. But that's also applicable for countries that don't have Second Amendment rights. Criminals will still have guns. So he said things in a way that were a little bit more derisive because he wanted to encourage discourse. I don't do that. The Kylan, just wanted to pop in and say hi. Have a blessed night or day where everyone is from. Well, there you go. So Charlie Kirk also was a vehement believer in free speech, even though he didn't like to play games with pronouns, and he had a lot of strong opinions, but he was also a staunch believer in the amendments. So, what's your thoughts on the iPhone 17? Fuck iPhone. I'll never own a new Apple product. I have a shit ton of old Apple Macs, but I'll never own a new Apple product. Is a PT-99 better than a Beretta? No. They were originally built on Beretta tooling, so when they replaced the tooling, it was still technically Beretta design. The guns didn't do anything, the people behind the trigger did. Pretty much. Reasonable take, acknowledging both sides of things, well said. So, thank you, Big Arm, I appreciate it. The problem with trying to... I'm not a fence sitter. I am not a fence sitter. So, you can't accuse me of that. What I am is somebody who doesn't get involved with situations that I am not directly involved or affected with. Charlie Kirk's death had nothing to do with guns. Charlie Kirk's death was one psychotic nut job deciding that he didn't like the opinions of somebody else. So he, in his opinion, was doing what he felt was right in taking the life of Charlie Kirk. The killing of Charlie Kirk is a fucking tragedy. Nobody should ever die, and I don't just mean in the United States. Nobody should die for their opinion. You should just agree to disagree and walk away. If you don't want to use somebody's pronouns, fine. That other person, be them he, she, it, them, they, should be willing to acknowledge that, yes, you can tell me your pronouns. No, it's not my requirement to honor your pronouns. You're not protected under HIPAA for your pronouns. So I'm not a fence sitter. However, I'm also somebody that's not afraid to talk about a situation, but I'm also not worried that you're going to need my opinion. It's really fucked up the way my brain works when I'm talking, so it's hard to understand where I'm coming from, but I won't be a fucking fence sitter. I have my opinions on shit. I just don't think you need mine. Honey badgers are 300 blackout. Why don't you like Apple products? Because all they are is marketing. Apple iPhone 17 so my buddy Drunk Mouse, who's one of the mods here, and I've met him in real life, he had the 16 Plus Max double dildo, whatever version the top of the line was. My S23 Ultra, which was a year and a half old at the time, has a better camera, has better features, is faster, and doesn't get nerfed by the company. Wait a minute, do you have a Viper? No, I wish I did. It's also ironic they had bulletproof glass at his circus celebration with fireworks, reminding me of an episode of The Boys. Okay. How's your day going? It's all right. Agree, people have lost the ability to agree to disagree. It's not hard of a concept. It is, it's amazing. Because the internet exists in the form that it does now, there is more sponsored links and opinion pieces that bump down actual factual results in search engines. So the 1 second search guy will click on a sponsored link, which is not even something that Google monitors. They just take your money and put your fucking link up. If I want to buy the whole first page of Google and say that Tylenol is an aphrodisiac, they will allow me to do that. My dad is up in heaven. He passed away last July. I'm sorry to hear that, Jessica. I subscribe, dude. Have a great night, brother. You too. Thank you for subscribing. All you people that enjoy my content, if you don't want to support the channel in a monetary way, understandable, but just hit the thumbs up for me. The more algorithm manipulation we do with comments, likes, subscriptions, etc., the faster I can grow the channel. The faster I can grow the channel, the more I can push out to sponsors. Hey, look, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm growing at X rate per month. If you want to come on as a sponsor, you will actually see a benefit from it. So I'm trying to grow the channel organically without asking you directly to just support me with no return. That's why I'm giving you guys hoodies for supporting the channels. You get a tangible item for supporting the channel. Can you take one of them off the wall? No! YouTube does not allow manipulation of firearms on live streams. What's your opinion on the L86 LSW belt-fed machine gun? Never seen one. Hello, streamer. Let's not swear. 2 more warnings will result in not being able to stream. That will be temporary. You're fucking awesome, you fucking fuck. I fucking love your fucking rules. Thank you, fucker. If you could narrow it down, what would your top handgun and rifle? My custom-built AR is my favorite rifle, followed by my grandfather's 1939 Winchester Model 84 or 1894. My favorite handgun is always my 1911s. It doesn't matter which one. I'm having the shop build me a Mark 18 instead of a 12.5 inch. I'm glad I was able to switch up the build. Just can't wait till it's done. It'll be my very first. Fell, that's going to be so awesome, dude. You're going to enjoy the shit out of that. Mason, I feel like most people are desensitized towards others being harmed because of the easy access of any content that's free to see on the internet. Teaching ownership and responsibility is so important. Yes, and the fact that everybody complains about the way that YouTube has cracked down on uncensored violence, murder, death, fire, destruction, dismemberment is a testament to where we are in society, but also it's a back step from where we were originally. Uncensored videos, uncensored search engines, uncensored all this was rampant when we were more accurate. Does that make sense? But the problem is more and more people are relying heavily on 1-second search engines. So that's where the problem comes in. Is there a TV show or movie you can watch over and over again? Yes, The Sure Thing starring John Cusack. I had it originally. I've actually got it on DVD. But when I was a kid, it played nonstop on my VCR TV combo. I watched it every day for a year. Is the green one real? No, that is a 3D printed Chiappa Rhino. Did you grow up around guns? Did your dad teach you from a young age? And will you teach your kids? Axel, no, I don't have kids. I'm not intending on having kids. If I accidentally get somebody pregnant, oops, I will take responsibility. But no, my dad did not teach me about guns. My dad was in the military, but he was in the air defense, so he didn't play with his guns all day long. He was also a marksman, and I don't like rifles. The age that I started, I was nearly 38 years old when I started getting into guns. So a child for myself. The Incredible Hulk with Lou Ferrigno. Awesome. Do I have a knife collection? No. Knives are more dangerous in my hands than guns. Are you okay, buddy? Hey. Rocky. You okay, buddy? Yeah, his whisker being gone means he's sleeping with his left eye open, and it's freaking me the fuck out because his eye rolls back now, and it looks crazy. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. Active self-protection. I met John Cena. Have you watched him? No, I've never watched that stuff. Who's John Cena? A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger is a good movie. Outside of his portrayal of the Joker, I don't actually care for his movies. He did a lot more period shit than I care for. I don't like period shit. You okay, man? I'm sorry. He's looking at me like I'm an asshole because I'm still talking. What time is it? 9 o'clock? You guys want to see the wall? As somebody from the UK, I can tell you firsthand how dangerous knife crime is. The reality is gun laws are available, so the U.S. makes it a safer country. We had that argument last time, and we were discussing that. According to 2024 documentation, there were roughly... And here's the problem with the UK representation of knife violence. They don't actually list specific knife murders versus knife stabbings. They only list deaths related to knives. So there were only 300 murders associated with knives versus the number of attacks. In a country with, what do you have now, 70 million people, 60 million people, something like that. The United States has nearly 5 times the number, and we have almost the same number of murders. So, I mean, honestly, we're almost the same per capita. But yes, guns have stopped more. If we didn't have guns, we would have 5 times more knife crime, which means then we would be 5 times more than we currently have. So that's where the distinction comes into place. You watch that cowboy movie Heath Ledger did over and over. Dude, I don't need to imagine that shit. I live in Virginia. You know how many mountain boys there are? Of all the guns you own, which does the most damage? That's a very open-ended question, man, because if I don't shoot it, it does no damage. So I can do just as much damage with the 45 as I can with the 9. If you're talking ammo capacity to ammo capacity, the larger calibers that I normally carry are 45, but I don't really look at stopping power kind of stuff. I'm not one of those guys. Again, I got into guns very late, so I'm not that guy in a gun store that's going to start quoting ballistics and start quoting what everybody else on the internet said about my rifle setup. Have I seen the Terminator 7 trailer? I didn't even know they're doing another Terminator. I thought Dark Fate ruined it. Out of all the guns, SKS, question mark? The damage done to a weapon is completely down to the mindset. Did I see your Jimmini Show gun rug? I did see that. It looks pretty cool, man. Yes, I agree, Mason. If somebody shot me in the dick with a 22, it would do more damage than if somebody shot me in the leg with a 44. Practice with whatever you carry. Shot placement is critical for any caliber. Preach! I've got an old Torino in cosmology still. What? Are you using talk to text? Do you mean you have something in Cosmoline? You have a Norinco in Cosmoline. Got it. Thanks. I made a stencil from the logo on the shirt with my 3D printer. Ah, stealing my paid-for designs. I see how that is. No, I'm just fucking with you. You know I don't care, drunk. That's awesome, dude. Oh, how are the guns doing tonight? Many of them are locked up safe in somebody else's building. All right, Mr. Swoop, I have received your payment. You are what I need you to do now. Let me email you. Received. I need your shipping info. Alrighty. 46 hoodies left available, and I will be doing another run of the t-shirts as well. Joe, awesome as always. Thank you. Have you any other revolvers? If you do, can you show us? You cannot manipulate firearms on YouTube, so I can't even go and get them if I wanted to. My home defense is a 45 carbine, lots of punch. It's a good choice. Slow enough round, it'll probably stop in your target, but big enough to do a lot of damage when placed properly. How's the charger? I've only put like 60 miles on it, so I'm not driving it much. It's already full of dog hair because of my wonderful dingus. But other than that, it's fine. Thank you for flipping over, dude. I hate looking at your eye open. Who makes the best chicken nuggies? In my opinion, it's Wendy's. Wendy's makes the best. McDonald's makes the classics. Just curious, do you own a Desert Eagle 50? It's a relatively infamous gun. And wondered if you ever handled one. I used to own one. Sold it. I bought it for a very good price, shot it a bunch, and then I got rid of it because my friends, I would take them to the range and I would let them shoot my guns, and I usually provided the ammo the first time, but they always asked me to bring the gun to the range, and then there's several videos, shorts on my channel. Thankfully, I've made a lot of my money back from the videos. But there's videos of my friend mag dumping my Desert Eagle and then not paying me for the $40 magazine he shot. Practice your draw in super slow motion, speed up every few days. Your mechanics will become muscle memory. Interesting. Also, if you want to work on your trigger discipline and your trigger control, take a coin. So pretend this is the slide of your firearm. So you're holding your gun. Take your coin and set it down on top of the slide and practice pulling your trigger, because believe it or not, it doesn't take a lot to make a coin fall off of a gun. So you'll see if you're pulling hard and the gun is flipping up, the coin will just jump. Or if you're dipping because you're anticipating the shot, the coin will fall off the gun. So lay it flat on top of the slide and practice dry firing, and then you'll learn whether or not you have good trigger wall discipline. Wendy's was the best when they had the biggie meals. Oh yeah, I like those. Nice tip. My pants aren't zipped? No, thank you, dude. Do I have a Glock 19? Yes. I started playing Cyberpunk last night. I have not played that in a long time. Like, I even own the DLC, the Phantom Liberty, but I've never played it. Dry firing doesn't hurt. Center fire cartridges are designed in a way that there is no danger to the mechanism of the firearm to dry fire it. They are dry fire safe. A rim fire cartridge, a 22 long rifle, 22 Magnum, there are other ones. All of a sudden, my brain just stopped. But a rimfire cartridge, not all guns are safe to dry fire. The Taurus TX22 and the SIG 322 are both dry fire safe. That 1911, that 1911, the Hammerly 22 up there is not dry fire safe, so I use snap caps. If you're not sure if your gun is dry fire safe, get snap caps for your gun. They're usually plastic or aluminum here in the United States, and they will help protect the firing pin from contacting the back of the chamber. My pops always told me not to. A lot of pops always say that stuff, but a competition shooter, Pewview, if you've ever seen his channel or Honest Outlaw, they probably dry fire 15 to 20 to 50,000 times a year versus people telling you not to dry fire. If you want to become capable at trigger control, dry firing is one of the best ways to do it. It's fun so far. Yeah, Cyberpunk is great, dude. It's honestly, it's not the most original storyline ever, and I hate some of the endings. Spoiler: Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father. And in Mars Attacks, the aliens are really bad. I think my grandfather is crazy. Happens to the best of us. You own an artillery? No, I do not. Good man. Is a P239 safe, you think? It's center fire. Yes, it is a safe dry fire gun. Like I said, so the 239 is hammer fired. So, number one, a hammer fired gun is more safe than a striker fired gun, in my opinion, because the way that a hammer fired gun works is you have your hammer. When the hammer comes up and hits the firing pin, it drives the firing pin forward. In a center fire gun, it doesn't have any chance of impacting the chamber. But in a hammer fired gun, the spring on the firing pin, its job is to draw the firing pin rearward to keep it out of the chamber or out of the breech face. A striker fired gun relies on the spring to pull the striker forward. So in my opinion, hammer fireds are more reliable because the spring around the firing pin actually does less. My grandpa gave me a BB gun for my 6th birthday. I'm older than 6 now, but I just remember this. Okay. Thanks, no problem. What was your first rifle? My first rifle that I bought for myself was... Good fucking question. Oh, a Ruger 1022. The first rifle I got was my grandfather's 1939 Winchester 1894. Learned something new about my pistol. No problem, dude. Out of all the guns you owned, which would you say is the most expensive? So it all depends on who's the buyer. So my custom AR-15 is, if you duplicate it with price of the parts, like you can do PC Parts Picker and they'll tell you what the price is. If you duplicate my AR-15, it's going to cost between $400 and $4,500. But my STI Grandmaster, I can sell that right now and get $4,500. But I didn't pay any of that. So it all depends. It's a very, very hard question for me to answer because I don't pay full price for anything. Do you think 18 to 20 should be allowed to carry? Lots of states are 21. When you're talking about concealed carry, yeah, I think so. Because if you can be charged with a crime as an adult, and you can go to war, and you can own a rifle, I think you should be able to conceal carry. Otherwise, you're saying he's an adult, but because he was concealed carrying at 19, he shouldn't be held responsible for murdering a guy because his brain isn't fully developed. So you can't have it both ways. Is he or isn't he? Or she? You paying a lot? Do you pay a lot in insurance since you go through one vehicle a year? Not really. Having two vehicles as an individual actually keeps my overall cost reasonable per vehicle. I pay about $90 a month for full coverage on each vehicle. I finish up work in about 10 minutes and drive home or get dinner, go home. So Joe's usually finishing up right when I get settled in my chair. I'm going to be on until 11 o'clock, so you got almost 2 hours tonight, Bruce. Why does everyone hate on SIG, and why does it seem warranted based on my limited knowledge? Can you explain the situation? I will explain it as best as I can, Anonymous. The SIG 320 base model and M1718, which are base model guns, have had uncommanded discharges, meaning the gun is fired without manipulation from the owner of the firearm. They've gone off in holsters because of the way they're sitting. They've gone off when they're set down because of the way they were set down. So an accidental discharge is not in any way the fault of the person holding the firearm. That's what's been happening. We're calling them uncommanded discharges. The trigger setup, the way they're designed on the base model guns, allows them to be manipulated too easily and lead to a situation where they can go off uncommanded. The way SIG has been handling it has been atrocious by blaming the owners of the gun and saying if you think that they go off, you're not a gun person, you're not 2A friendly, because they're trying to defend their business rather than defend their actions. So they've handled it poorly. All their other guns, the 226, the 220, the 22X lineup is amazing. The Legions are fine. Just avoid the 320s, base model. Do you think there's a link between skilled shooters preferring semi-automatic guns instead of fully automatic? What's the explanation for that? Axel is right, Mason. It's the recoil. In a semi-automatic gun, you're in full control of the firearm. In a full auto situation, you are adapting to recoil that you don't control until you get it under control. By the time you get it under control, a Glock 18, for example, you are not accurate with it anymore. Sorry, he's twitching in his sleep pretty bad. Talking about the 320. Yeah, kind of. I'm giving an explanation in the most basic way possible, Rorschach. Is it easy to buy a gun in the United States? Yeah. As long as you're a law-abiding citizen, even those that have American green cards and visas are allowed to buy firearms. You have any guns that you customize, or are they all stock? No, I've got a lot of guns that are customized. They don't want to lose that military contract. They won't lose the military contract because they sold them at a price that no other gun manufacturer would likely allow them to be sold at. What's your most expensive gun? I don't answer that question. Went to the gun show last weekend looking for a TX-22. Left with a job. I really don't know how I did that one. Ha! I want to try a 22 auto and see if it's easier to control. Absolutely. The American 180, which ironically has a 175 round mag, is very easy. He's having nightmares of the 320 lol. No, he's having dreams about all the squirrels he sees. I guarantee you, because he does these little yips and then all of his paws twitch together. So he's dreaming about running after squirrels. What's the biggest shotgun caliber? What really would you qualify as a shotgun? Because, I mean, what do they have, 4 bores? I had a buddy who was working at a butcher with me who was here on a work vehicle. He has a valid firearm. I can't take it out of his home, I don't think. If you're in the United States and you can buy a firearm, you can take it outside of your home. You cannot be restricted to only having a firearm in your home in the United States. You're either not allowed to have a firearm, not allowed to open carry or conceal carry it, so it has to be transported a certain way, but you cannot be restricted to only having a gun in your home in the United States, if that's where you are. You're 100% correct on price. The only reason Glock don't have it. Yeah, so I know a lot of military-style people because my father was in the military. He knows a lot of people, and I talk to a lot of people, plus I've just met a lot of military guys. A guy that was a procurement agent for the military told me that SIG was selling the 320 M17 to the United States military for $170 a gun. Glock wanted $300 a gun, so that's the reason they didn't win the contract. For a 22 revolver, what's your favorite? Who's Blinker? Where can I buy or find a private seller for a gun? Don't ask that question here, son. Go to Google. What's your favorite kind of gun type in terms of feel? How it personally connects to you? So my personal favorite guns are hammer-fired all-metal guns. 1911 CZ75. To a point, the Beretta. I don't care for double action as much, and I don't like their slide-mounted safeties. But yeah, so a full-size all-metal gun, preferably hammer-fired. Here's my dilemma. I'm an avid concealed carrier everywhere with me, even when showering. Lol, I'm going to become a registered new soon, and I absolutely cannot carry in a hospital. Should doctors and nurses be allowed to? Yes, with caveats. I think there are certain parts of the hospital, such as the morgue, where you don't need your gun. No, I think you should be able to carry. I think it should be like in Ohio where they allow teachers to be armed. They actually pay them more to be armed. I think if a doctor and a nurse, especially a nurse, somebody that like yourself that is required to walk around the entire facility, knows the entire facility, recognizes things, assuming you're a good registered nurse, I think you should be allowed to be armed as long as the hospital knows it, and you're willing to take on the role of the defender of the hospital should an event occur. As long as you're willing to meet those requirements, I think a nurse should be able to carry in a hospital. Heritage is a good 22. Yes, they are. I saw Zod. Not on this channel, you didn't. Do you personally think a Benelli M4 is worth it for the price they cost? Though they look sweet, but the price tag isn't good. No, I don't. Get an M2 if you want a Benelli semi-auto. I bought an M2 for $800. The Echelon would have been a good military gun, yeah, but same problem. They couldn't sell them for $170 a piece because they're built in another country. That's the other reason why they wouldn't have won, because they would have had to have moved all the manufacturing to the United States for the government guns. Some states, some felons can get their rights back to own a firearm, can only possess it inside their home. They can't take it out of the house for any reason. No carrying, no range tips, nothing. No, you are absolutely wrong. I own an FFL. I deal with the ATF very regularly. That is false information. Do not spout that kind of shit, because that is false information. If you can have your gun rights back in the state, you have your gun rights back. You are not restricted by home ownership only. You're not restricted by that. That is not true. Don't spout that shit. In fact, I don't even want you here, because that is the reason we have problems in this country. Been attacks in other countries like Russia where hospitals are attacked, so I agree it hasn't happened in the US, but Murphy's Law is a thing. So one thing that you'll see, and I don't mean to draw attention to situations such as this, the reason why schools, churches, places of worship, restaurants, private businesses have the largest number of attacks by individuals is because those locations do not have visible posted security. The schools that have posted visible security or announced that they have armed personnel on site are much less likely to be attacked by firearms. I agree. The argument is that some floors like the psych ward deal with patients that could steal my firearm right off my body. Don't know how they like that, as I carry inside the waistband if it was an outside. You'd be surprised, dude. If somebody wants your gun, they're going to take you down and then go for your gun. But yeah, so police officers, when they transport somebody to a psych hold, there are lockers outside of the psych ward where they check their firearms in if they need to go into the building. So, for example, Valley Health, I've spent a few days there. They have them outside the check-in area. The police stay with the patient until they're handed over. They have, just like at a jail, they have lockers that they check their firearms in. So if you are a registered carrier, you're a known carrier, that's a bad thing to say in a hospital. But if you're a valid carrier in your hospital, they would have lockers that you could deposit your firearm in while in the psych ward. What's a good car to buy in Cyberpunk? I just take them. But there's one that kind of looks like a Mustang, but they all are kind of trash because the handling isn't that great. Why is your play button doing here? What? Also, why is nobody chatting? Somebody chat something. Did my live stream end? Or are you guys just sitting there without asking something? There you go. Have you ever gone on the wall? Have you gone over the wall on tonight's live? I have not. I can. It really isn't any different, but I'll do it. Oh, can I upgrade my car in the game? No. The local high school in my town and even the clinics have police at them every day, all school day. They should do this everywhere. Nothing ever happens, but it's better to be safe than sorry. There comes a point where it becomes militarized kind of a thing. Having one armed school security guard posted at the doors, that's fine. But I also don't agree with locking the doors. Oh shit, you're into Mustangs. What do you think of the S6550? Kind of not a fan of the design. I almost moved. So I had the 2014, the last of the S197s. That is my favorite design. I almost traded it for an S550. Really didn't like them. If you actually compare the two cars, look at an interior shot of a 550 versus a 650 or an S197. The seats are higher up in relation to the floor pan because they say they lowered the car 1.5 inches. They lowered the body. They didn't lower the car, so it's kind of fucky. Dry fire a Colt Python. I mean, you're going to scratch the shit out of your cylinder, but technically it's safe. Revolvers with the pin built into the body is fine or inserted in the body, but if the hammer has the firing pin, it's not recommended. So get that muzzle brake for the Tabor. Do you think that'll work? Yes, absolutely. It just needs to be steel so it can be welded. I carry it at my kid's school, but it's also my church. There you go. What was your Cyberpunk build? When I first started playing it, it was all hack stuff. I really didn't care about the gunplay as much. I was trying to do a lot of hacking things so I could reboot people's optics and shit like that. I like to sneak around. You make your own ammo? Nope. You've earned a subscriber. This is the most engaging space I've found on YouTube in a long time. I try, Mason. As much as I'm a dumbass in my shorts and I'm, you know, avoiding politics and religion, I try to be sensible. Yeah, can you retype that, Lewis? Limiting access to guns would not make schools safer. A lot of the people that have been involved in school shootings have taken the guns. They didn't go to a gun store and buy them. Several have. People of age that have attacked schools have done that, but no. He's great. I started off as a hater in his chat. Don't know if he remembers that. Probably, and I can go back and look at it. But some haters fucking got the idea that when I'm hating back, it's because I'm just going back and forth. I've not seen how a Tokarev TX3 hammer shotgun functions. What's your favorite gun? 1911s. Have found out it doesn't say what it's made of. Yeah, because a lot of muzzle brakes can be aluminum. Nice to see a decent dude being legit on live. Thank you, sir. Your shorts are awesome. Don't downplay yourself. Your channel is awesome. I just wish million-plus subscriber channels had left the shorts alone. It ruined it for everybody else. I believe there's a stigma regarding guns, especially in Europe, but if you spend time to really research the topic, you begin to see the light. Absolutely, Mason. The vast majority of people's understanding and knowledge of firearms and the community is what they see based on the news. The news does not report gun owner safely goes to range and goes home, cleans firearm, no bad things happen. They would rather say, man at firing range shoots 13 people. So, unfortunately, the world we live in, instant gratification, instant access to information has caused a world where people don't take the time to actually learn what the fuck they're talking about. So, yes, I agree with you. Say that again about the school. We're almost at 200K. Everyone make sure. What do you mean, Bruce? Me or the other guy? He says limiting access to guns would stop school shootings. You're a cool dude and you run very chill live streams. I try to. Some days I go off on idiots because the stupidity of some people amazes the shit out of me. Anybody notice Jimmy Kimmel cried on cue? No, I don't watch him. I don't actually find him funny, but he is what he is. Can you tell us a joke? Yes, 2 peanuts walked down the street. One was assaulted. Genuinely, my mom was literally terrified when she found out I carry. I tried to explain if anything should happen, I'd be the first one to defend her life. She couldn't even process it. Huge stigma. So my dad is that way, and I usually have that conversation with my extended family when they come over to my dad's house. Like, because if he invites me over, so when I'm carrying it, from in my car, it's usually not in my waistband because I don't like sitting with the holster there because it's hard to draw from behind my back when I'm seated. So when I go over to my dad's house, I tend to take my holster and just clip it into my front pocket so the handle of my gun is visible. So I've walked into family gatherings and people from church gatherings, and they'll see me walk in with a gun sticking out of my pocket. So, but my dad is over it. You're not missing anything. He's not funny. Thank you. That was a good joke. Thank you. It's one I always keep locked and loaded, man. You still got your guitars. They're my dad's guitars, and I gave most of them back. I gave the one away, and Stonehaven won that one. Hey, man, sometimes you got to clap back. Yeah, you do. And it's always funny when the haters that can't handle it get offended. Still got your guitar. I already answered that one. What's your take on Kimbers? I like Kimber. I've had exceptional luck with Kimbers. It's luck of the draw for the older Kimbers. Kimbers are manufactured using high-quality materials by very good people. However, they're not expensive enough to get the hand finishing that I think they need. Because of their tolerances are so tight for a mass-manufactured gun, they can be slightly unreliable because the owner doesn't understand that lube is very important when breaking in a Kimber, as well as round count. You do need to break in a Kimber. No, gun-free zones is why schools are targeted. That's what I said. I think maybe you didn't hear what I said. I said that they need to, the number one attacked areas tend to be places where there isn't visible security. So having security in schools, so like you go to a government building, they get shot up by psychotics, they don't get shot up by ex-students. But we were talking about hospitals, why the nurses and shit can't carry. What I said was having schools announce that they have armed personnel, such as Ohio, which allows teachers to be armed, helps prevent the gun violence. Having visible armed security at doors helps prevent a tragedy from occurring. Shadow, what's going on? What's the dumbest thing somebody's ever told you? Well, tonight somebody told me that a felon who gets his rights back can't take his gun out of his house. But the dumbest thing somebody ever told me was that they love me. And then they ghosted me. How many states are permitless carry? I don't know. I really don't pay attention to that because my state isn't one of them, and I don't encourage permitless carry. I'm from the UK, unfortunately. Well, it is what it is, Mason. You look tired, man. Go get some sleep. I will. Despite what the news tries to push, living in the U.S. seems like a world with a lot more freedom. Absolutely, dude. I can tell you, as an individual, the only time I've ever had a gun pulled out in my presence was in a gun store. And even then, I only drew my gun because I wasn't quite sure what the guy was doing, but he was just looking for a holster, and he was an idiot. It's rare to see a revolver on the wall. What is it? That is a Heritage Barkeep. It's the short-barreled Rough Rider, basically. Here, let me do a wall tour. I said I would, and then I didn't. Also, come on, hand. My hand isn't working in this angle. I can't move my fingers when it's twisted backwards. Hi, Rocky. And yeah, I've got a lot of trash on my desk. Shut up. Rocky, you alive, buddy? Okay, yeah, he's alive. You saw him move. He twitched. You saw it. So it is a Heritage Rough Rider, and I have the 22 Magnum cylinder for it. I wouldn't guess that, so why do you not encourage permitless carry? Because a lot of people that travel from state to state think that permitless carry is recognized in another state. So, for example, West Virginia, you have constitutional carry there. And if you come into Virginia and you're still concealed carrying without a concealed carry permit, you can get in trouble. So I encourage a CCW if you're going to be traveling across state lines. I also encourage a CCW because it usually involves a class. I get into this argument with McManus all the time. I think that if you want to carry a firearm in today's society, you should take some sort of class. And constitutional carry allows you to just throw a gun in your waist and go. So, anyways, that's the wall tonight. Nothing new, nothing fancy, nothing special. I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it. Life sucks when you try to do things that you can't do. So apparently I can't get companies to not be dicks. Also, I can't get people that tell me they're going to do things to fucking do it. So there's a lot of people that can go fuck themselves. I disagree, but I see your point for sure. Oh, it's absolutely in my opinion. And you can have your opinion, and I will respect your rights to your opinion, sir. Absolutely. Man, it's almost like I summoned that fucker. What's up, McManus? Not sure on the handgun safety class. To each their own. Like I said, a lot of people scare the fuck out of me with their anti-government rhetoric and that being their reasoning for getting guns. But whatever. You okay, buddy? You itchy? You need me to scratch your nose? Is there a way to use the gun range in Cyberpunk? Yeah, you got to go and talk to him though. Man, that 1911 on the bottom with the ports is awesome, like out of Pulp Fiction, lol, but it's not chrome. It's actually a standard government 45 with a Punisher cop. It's modeled after the Punisher movie. Is that a teal Disseros? No, it is a non-firing replica of a Chiappa Rhino. Hey, should I get a 2011 or 1911? First budget, 1200. 2011 if you want capacity, 1911 if you want traditionalism. How much is a concealed class in Virginia? About $150. Gotta be stupid to fail the handgun safety class. So there's differing things, man. So again, if you don't want to take the concealed carry course, fine. I'm fine with that. I'm giving my opinion here. I still encourage you to find somebody that can teach you proper gun handling, proper management of your firearm as a new gun owner, because there are stories out there. Somebody can Google it right now. This girl who was absolutely against 2A, she said nobody needs to own a gun, finally got a gun, and she was so flipped that she wound up getting into a road rage accident and killing somebody because she never took a class. They're used by the civil disarmament states, create financial and time barriers to lawful gun ownership. That's different a little bit from what I'm talking about, Bruce. I do agree. Like when Mouse told me how much it costs to get a CCW in California, that's fucking insane. But I guess I need to clarify. West Virginia has concealed and constitutional carry. I encourage those who want to constitutional carry in a state that allows it to take some sort of training, to get some sort of training in the proper way to carry a firearm. Because there's a lot of people, like I said, that will just YOLO it and pull their gun because somebody cuts in line at a drive-thru. Like she killed somebody on accident? No, this bitch went fucking full-on road rage and mag dumped a Taurus into a dude because she felt that she was entitled to it because she owned a gun. PA has both also. Yeah. The thing I don't care for with Pennsylvania is they don't recognize Virginia's concealed carry. Don't forget, CCW has a 2-year wait if you're new. Shit, that sucks. Can't even explain how fucking stupid that comment was. I didn't even read it. The only points I know of are usually on needles and pencils. What would you do if Second Amendment was outlawed? Number one, it won't be. And number two, I guess there's going to be a civil war, won't there? Because the Second Amendment protects us from the government, not us from each other. To answer your question, recreation, self-defense, and philosophy. So, yeah, I don't care when somebody does that. If they get annoying, my guys know to get rid of them. Is there a difference between constitutional carry and permitless carry? No, it's just the way that you call it. So, It's like you can have a CCW, concealed carry weapons permit, or you can have a CCCWP or whatever, carrying whatever permit. Here in Virginia, we call them CCWs. Other states call them different things. It's all the second. It's all the same. I mean, sorry. What is a good gun to start with? The best answer I can give you in that, Mr. Burrito, is to go to a gun store, find guns that fit you well, and then try to find a range that rents those guns so you can shoot them. I don't like to give personal recommendations for guns. Many guns are very accurate and reliable. You just need to find what fits you best. It is all the Second Amendment. No. What rifle has the most kick? Probably something like a punt gun. If you're talking about like a shooting rifle, probably like elephant guns. You know, guns that are designed to take big game. What can get you in trouble with constitutional carry that most people wouldn't know? Exactly what I said. Crossing state lines while carrying without a concealed carry permit. So Virginia recognizes all other states' concealed carry permits, but if you are concealed carrying while in Virginia without a concealed carry permit, you can get your gun seized. You can actually get a ticket. You can get a fine. You can get prosecuted. It all depends on what the situation is that you're doing it. But that's something that people don't understand. They think, oh, my state has constitutional carry, so I can carry. And then here in Virginia, where I live, I'm literally 5 minutes from West Virginia. I'm 40 minutes from Maryland. I'm 30 minutes from Pennsylvania. So I'm an hour from D.C., and none of them outside of West Virginia recognize my CCW. Do you like indoor or outdoor ranges? I prefer outdoor because I shoot steel mostly, but indoor is fine. You're the second person with guns I've seen. YouTube does have a run of them. You are probably getting suggested it based on your scrolling. What's the bolt action second from the top? That is a Sears Model 43-103. Anybody interested in reciprocity, look at USCCA. I agree with your second statement. Be wary about joining. USCCA will give you information to try to get you to join, so at least you can trust that some of their information is accurate. Don't get gun insurance. My country has constitutional carry. It's on the name. No, it says this is the Constitution of the United States of America. It doesn't say that constitutional carry is covered. You can carry a Constitution all you want. If you want to carry the Constitution, McManus, I am not opposed to it. How will you fare in a zombie apocalypse? I'm joining the zombies, dude. I will literally end myself and just become a zombie. They don't give a fuck. What would you rate the kick of a 12-gauge shotgun 1 to 10? You have to give me a differing thing to compare it to. Like, do I hate the kick? No. To me, the kick is like a 3 or a 4. But to some people, it may suck. How far away are you from Charlottesville? About 5 hours. 4 hours. 3 hours. No, it's about 190 miles. Sorry. I'm thinking the wrong way. How is the lesson going to prevent somebody from purposely using their gun in an act of rage? Any sane person doesn't need a lesson to morally ignore that isn't okay. You would be surprised, and thank you for asking that question. I understand that you're actually asking the question, so I'll answer that question. A lot of people think, a lot of people that lack training could be more easily enticed to draw their firearm in a situation that doesn't require it. I'm not talking about rage pull. I was making fun of the girl that pulled her gun because she was somebody that spent her whole life against guns, bought a gun, and within a year killed somebody. But she also didn't take any training. But if you go to a good class, not a CCW class specifically, but a good firearms training course with a good instructor that isn't a dick trying to just take your money, they will help you understand that if somebody cuts you off in the grocery store, that's not a time to pull your firearm. There are so many people that I see and have interacted with that said, man, if I had my gun, I would have pulled it over stupid shit. And that's where a class can help. Telling somebody or instructing somebody, giving them the knowledge that, hey, unless your life is in danger, you shouldn't pull your firearm, is going to be, yes, it's probably not as effective as I hope it would be, but if you increase the awareness and understanding of firearms to a person by 10%, that gives a 10% less chance that that person's going to do something stupid. Somebody raging, somebody wanting to commit violence against somebody else, it doesn't matter what you tell them. I know CCW people, I've read about CCW people that will pull and shoot. That's just going to happen. But giving people the tools they need to learn and understand when and when they shouldn't pull their gun is a very good thing. Something about, there's talk about trying to get all 50 states to recognize CCWs. Yeah, good luck with that. That'll never happen. New to the channel, what do you use your guns for? Hunting, skill, defense. Skill, as well as engineering and mechanical design. Kimmel shouldn't have been pulled, but I feel like he would become a better place if he stayed gone. I just don't agree with a lot of what he says, but it's America, man. If you don't like them, there's other channels. That's the other thing. Like, we don't have to pay every year for our TV rights. We have ultimate rights. We can turn off the TV. We can watch something else. We don't have to listen to them. 140 pound, one small frame guy, and 12 gauge is overrated. It's not that bad. Exactly. And if you hold it right, you can mitigate a lot of the recoil damage by holding it correctly. Please help. Okay, I'm not reading any of that out. Nice YouTube plaque. Thank you, Powder Girl. What did you think about Keltec KSG shotgun? I have the 7, not the G. It's fine. It's loud. The action is by your ear. The recoil sucks because of the fact that it's right there. That has an enhanced butt pad on it. How hard was it to get your FFL? Not hard, because I had 6 years in the industry before I even applied. I had a brick and mortar store already, and I already knew all the rules, so it wasn't hard. Do you carry a gun in your vehicle at all times? I always carry, not always, but unless I'm having bad health days, if I'm carrying, the gun goes in the car. So technically, yes. Prefer home defense weapon. I have the 3. I have a shotgun, rifle, and a pistol, so I'm covered for most eventualities. Glock. Thumbs down, thank you. What do you think about the CV Life enclosed RMSC red dot? It's $150. They're sending me one. I haven't put my hands on it yet, but a lot of their stuff is solid, so it's definitely worth a look. And at $150, the only thing that's close is Olight's O-Sight SE. I can't reach for it because it's too close to guns. Theirs is $169, and they probably have a better warranty than CV Life. I take the gun out because I carry at the 4 o'clock position. It's not convenient to pull a gun from the 4 o'clock position. Why are side-by-side shotguns pretty expensive? Outside of the Turkish-made ones, guns from like Beretta and other companies that sell like very expensive ones, they're very expensive because of the way they're built and marketing. Do you open carry? No, I don't believe in open carry. If you have the ability to conceal carry, you should always conceal carry. If you open carry because you're working on a farm, you're walking in the woods, you're in a recreational activity, fine. But I don't believe in being out in public showing people you're armed, because public is stupid, as you can tell from the chat a lot of nights. People in large groups, for some reason, take the collective IQ, divide it by 7, and then cut it in half. So you could have 1,000 people that individually are well-reasoned and functioning individuals, but you put them together and give them a mob mentality, it never goes well. So people in general don't like guns because of the news. You're excited for the review short. On which one? Gen 5 MOS Dot and Light, what do you think of that combo? It's a waste of money. If you get the Glock for the right price, go for it. It's fine. What do you think about escort shotguns? It's Turkish stuff. It's okay. I don't trust my life to escort, though. Agreed. I'm like in 2A, you can get an open carry. Makes no sense. Yeah. I think you should have gotten a P10F. Why? You would have just stolen it from me. Nah, the P10F doesn't do anything for me, brother, and I had the P10F. You know that. I've made multiple videos of it. I had a P10F competition. Are those real guns? Yes. The same people who cry about guns will be the first one to call people with guns to save them. The same anti-gunners I go to school with. I do everything in my power to defend them should I need to. Yes. If I'm in a public situation and heaven forbid I'm involved in an active shooter situation, I am not going to pick and choose who I defend and who I try to stop. If the person that is being attacked is anti-2A, it doesn't mean I'm going to stop defending them. The guy asking about the Glock. Yeah. I stole mine, so there is that, yeah. Are radical firearms good for the money? They're fine. They're an entry level. They're as low as I would go for an AR-15. I'd switch out the governor for you in a heartbeat. For context, I live in New York. You can keep them. Hopefully you guys vote them out and get somebody that's a little bit looser. You agree with the fact that an 18-year-old in many states can own a handgun but cannot buy ammo? Your statement is lacking in full information. If you are of 18 years of age and you buy a rifle, caliber carbine, I'm going to give you Virginia's law, and it is one that the ATF guy actually kind of correlated. For a state where an 18-year-old can buy a long gun, if you buy a PCC, a 16-inch 9mm gun, you are allowed to buy ammo for it that day. California may be fucky. I'm not talking about states with heavy restrictions. In the state of Virginia, if you buy a pistol caliber carbine and you come back another day, I will ask you what kind of gun it is for. If you tell me it's for a pistol, I am not allowed to sell you the ammo. But if you tell me that you're putting it in an AR-9 with a 16-inch barrel, a Ruger PCC, a sub 2K, I am allowed to sell you the ammo. So the fact that you're saying they can't buy the ammo is a little bit lacking in full description. Because you can also buy ammo not from stores. I'm more concerned with guys who carry large belt knives here in Texas than about guns. I have a CC permit. There you go. Dude, I'm afraid of myself with knives. I've accidentally stabbed myself probably a half a dozen times in the last 3 years. Going to 11? Yeah, I think so. Do you own a gun shop? Yes, I do, but we are right now currently appointment only. I started my store by putting $80,000 of my own guns into my inventory, sold about 60 of my guns, and got very angry that I was selling my guns while the economy was tanking. So I pulled my personal guns out of my store. So I'm no longer going to be selling my personal guns, which means I have to get money to buy new inventory. And FFLs are very low on priorities for banks.
That is not our gun.
Favorite gun on the wall? Right now, my Chris Sphinx.
What the hell is that?
I don't have a dream gun, Liam. Adding question marks doesn't get your question answered.
Something else here.
2-word questions, I typically pass those by. Liam, get more engaged. Ask a full question. If you would phrase the question, hey, Jimmini, good to see you. What's your favorite dream? Do you have a dream gun and why? I'd be more apt to answer that question. I don't answer 2-word questions, brother. What's your opinion on the ATF? Like, how can they make regulations? They are not legislature, right? Yeah, they cannot make legislation or laws. That's why every time they've done it, they've been overturned. The ATF is a law enforcement agency, not a law creating agency.
That's the plan.
What's your biggest mistake someone makes buying a first gun? Listening to everybody else rather than going and trying guns for themselves. When people come in and tell me, yeah, man, it's my first gun, all my friends have Glocks, they keep telling me I have to get a Glock, I want to get a Glock, and they refuse to listen to anything else without having ever shot a Glock, that's terrible advice. What's the best handgun in your opinion and why? I prefer the 1911 platform. It has the purest trigger of any handgun, outside of a hammer and a nail. But yeah, 1911s. What do you think about the IWI Zion? When they're on sale for about $1,000, they're an excellent value for that. Even at $1,200, they're pretty solid. Is that TV going in the background? Yes, there's a TV in the other room. I leave it playing YouTube videos for my dog to have audio to relax to. Should I get an open emitter or closed emitter for CC? I'm between RMR Type 2 and Holosun 509. Depends. How much have you shot with them both? RMR is fine for concealed carry because you're not going to be rolling around in the mud typically. I live in Mississippi, Missouri, Massachusetts, and I have guns. I can't go and buy ammo for them as I'm 18. Do you think if you can own a gun, you can buy ammo for it no matter the gun? Yeah, I do. So the thing is, I understand what you're talking. Here in the state of Virginia, if you're 18, you can own a handgun as well. However, you can't go to that gun store and buy a handgun at 18. Because you can't buy a handgun, that's why they regulate your ability to buy the handgun ammo at the store. Now, some states will supersede that law. I'm not sure if your state is one of them, but you're still subject to federal law when it comes to ammo. The point you made about what guns people commonly buy is another effect of mob mentality. People can't think for themselves. Exactly. That's why you people like black pudding. I cannot retract the slide on my Tokarev without pulling back the hammer first. Interesting. Do you have a 45? Nope. Have I ever fanned a single action? No, I really do, though. Want to. Grayson, what's up? Are those real guns? They look fake. They're real. I was trying to clean. Interesting. Catch you later. Need to get up early for work in the AM. Good night, everyone. Hey, CW, have you noticed that the only gun that I got from you that I kept was the Sears? So I had a question. I've been told Taurus jam easily. How true is that? Depends on which Taurus. Depends on who told you. Depends on what model. Older ones, sure. Modern ones are pretty solid. You can jam a revolver from Taurus very easy by spamming the trigger. Canik TTI smoke. Thoughts? I have one. It's fine. It's a TTI by Canik. Meaning that it's a Canik first, TTI second. Canik built it. It's just an SFT Pro. Caniks are good. Arizona's a great gun owner state. That's true. Thoughts on Taurus PT-111? It led to the G2, which led to a resurgence of the popularity of Taurus semi-autos in the United States, so I'm for it. Is that a graphics card on the desk? That is an entire computer on a box. And make sure to not accidentally clamp your finger with the hammer. That really hurts. It can. Why do you have so many guns? Because I like them. I have RAM sticks randomly sitting on my desk because I like tech. Don't have the Earl. Would you say business is fairly good at your gun shop? No, that's why I closed it to walk-in sales. I literally was spending 8 hours a day sitting there while people came in just trying to sell me their shit. I don't need to just buy, I need to sell. Stores cannot live by just buying product from people. So the economy is so fucked right now that people that used all their COVID money and their tax money to buy stupid shit now need to sell it. Part of the mob mentality, everybody thought every time a gun incident happens, they need to go out and buy a gun, and then 3 months later, everybody's trying to sell the same fucking gun. Also, to anybody new to guns, AR-15s aren't anything special. Just because you paid $1,000 for a Colt AR doesn't mean I'm going to pay you for that when you get it, when you need to sell it. You bring me a Colt AR, I'm giving you $400 fucking dollars. Just the way economy works. Deal with it. Thoughts on the Ruger LCP Max? I've heard mixed things about it. I'm not a fan of small guns, period. What's your biggest thing people waste their money on, and why is it deodorant? Because motherfuckers are stinky. Thoughts on gun violence? Are you asking as somebody who's not from the United States, or are you asking as somebody who is mob mentality anti-gun? Or are you just asking? Speaking of K9, they have an amazing case full of stuff when you purchase new. You're talking about Canik? Yes. Do you own an M1 Garand? Nope, sold it. What's the name of your gun store? I'll stop by. It's Wind City Armory, but there's nothing on the website, and the store isn't open to just walk-ins. Do I do FFL transfers? Yes. Thanks, Jimmini. No problem, Leslie. Are you Leslie from Olight or Osite by any chance? Are the prices of guns in the U.S. fixed, or do they fluctuate a lot according to inflation and current cost of living? Guns are subject to anything that is commerce-based. When availability dropped during COVID, prices went up drastically. After COVID, the availability of firearms improved, but the prices came down much slower. So it is a very, just like computers, video games, etc., it's economy based and market based. You can drive an hour from here and find completely different pricing on stuff. How do you like the Burris scope? What are the specs? It's a it's not up there right now, but it is a Burris full field 3 to 12 by 42. I like it. Me and my buddy took it out shooting. It's very accurate and very clean glass. So that's the information. Joel, a gun dealer friend of mine, shut his shop down in our small town. He couldn't make a decent profit. He kept his license. So it's not that I can't make profit. It's just that I'm done selling my private collection, and most of my inventory was my private collection. I started this store with no money, only my individual personal investment. So right now, if I can't get a bank loan to buy all new inventory or buy a lot of stuff off the street, I just can't afford to do it. Because having people walk in 12 times a week asking me to buy $500 worth of guns would mean I would spend $6,000 a week, which means I will spend $25,000 a month, which means I could wind up spending $250,000 a year without selling a single item, and that's not sustainable in this world. What do I think about Arkin? Arkin is good. Stone shoots his F510 quite a bit. It's suppressed. Any opinions on $1.34 per 50 Beowulf round? Honestly, for weird rounds, $1.34 is 50 AE is nearly $3 a round. 338 Lapua match is $5 a round. So I mean, it sucks to spend that much, but typically the guns that shoot it only hold 10 rounds. So a guy mag dumps 30 rounds of 5.56, and you're talking about wasting $15. Even at 50 cents a round, you're wasting more money than you would with the 50 Beowulf. Despite how much people love the M1, I heard that soldiers hated it because when you ran out of ammo, the clip shot out of the Japs started to realize you had to reload and would bayonet rush you. No idea. I wasn't alive back then, but that sounds viable. I have 4 G3Cs. I love them. Nice. How often do you like to go out and shoot? I try to go every week. I haven't done it as much since I got the doggo and since I have been doing other shit. So stick to it. Someone open up for your store. Good luck, man. I'm out. No problem, dude. I've been doing a lot of electronics reselling recently. People tend to go for mass market options for firearms or go more private and personal owned businesses for our firearms. The internet is hard to compete with because people see a price that's lower than a brick and mortar store. The problem is when you ship that firearm into a store, you have to pay a transfer fee. Typically, you're not saving as much as you think you are. So I always encourage people to support a local business. Even though I'm a FFL, I still go to my buddies' shops and buy used guns all the time. Get on that stripper pole once a month and buy 2 guns every time. I told somebody earlier $500 to put on the titties. He only wanted to pay me 20, so it ain't happening. How big are the markups on optics? Variable depending on the manufacturer, anywhere from 15 to 50%. What kind of ARs do you have? All custom builds. Burris are good. Yeah, they are, man. They've sent me a lot of optics. I missed it if you answered my Taurus double stack 1911 question. My bad. Did Taurus build a double stack 1911? What's the lore behind the sloths? At one point, I had 3 toes. My parents used to call me a 3-toed sloth. They sponsored a couple of sloths in my name, so those are the stuffed animals that the World Wildlife Foundation sent them. Also, I'm literally passing out. So I told you a couple weeks ago I sold my guns. Now I got 22 boxes of ammo. What do I do with them? A lot of local stores, privately owned stores, will take used ammo. You just got to understand you're going to get pennies on the dollar. It's all about supporting local businesses. Yep. Glock 43X felt good in the hand, but are there other comparable options that you feel are better? I can't tell you what's going to be better. I can tell you other comparable options, though. The Canik Meta MC9, the SIG 365 XL has a similar size frame. The FN Reflex has a similar size frame. I don't like their polymer, but it's a similar size gun. Those are all comparable, but honestly, better opinions. Better guns mechanically. When you were buying a used gun, what do you look at to inspect it? I look to see if it's full of unburnt powder or carbon from being shot. I look at the firing pin. If it has a firing pin available to push out, I will, like on a hammer fire gun, I'll use a pen to push that firing pin to make sure that that's not damaged. I'll drop the mag and see how dirty the follower is. I'll look at the barrel to see how bad the, if the rifling is foul, things like that. It's the same thing you look at when you buy a car. Look at any mechanically interactive surface and make sure that it's not worn out. Mr. Banner has a dozen Arkans. Nice. Is that Alan Arkans? I was asking if you think they will get in that market. Ooh, what did I miss? I'm sorry, dude. I'm passing out. Literally, retype your question. Jim, back to my complete lower with the stock. Can I rake that off of an FFL and make it a pistol? It all depends on how it was sold to you. You need to look at your thing. Palmetto State sells their lowers even if they're equipped with the stock as a receiver. If the gun store has it logged into their system as a rifle, no. If they have it logged in as a receiver, yes. If they sell it as a rifle lower, no. You can turn a pistol into a rifle and back into a pistol. You cannot turn a rifle into a pistol because it turns it into an SBR. Also, if you do have it as a receiver and you put a short barrel on it, you have to change the stock for a brace. Burris makes the Fast Fire series, correct? Yes, I have their Fast Fire E on that gun. Shit. Stone, you're not getting that optic. Do I have past military background? Nope, sorry. I have to shart. Go for it. Just out of curiosity, is there any downside to using a credit card to buy a gun? Yes, accruing interest. If you pay it off in a month, no. But credit cards have accruing interest, not a rules of 72 fully defined course of life of loan interest payments. So if you have a credit card with a 29% interest and you don't pay that balance off every month, the balance that still remains gets an interest charge. So I look like Yuri Rexon. Okay. CZ75 or Beretta? I'll go to 75, thank you. I like buying guns in cash. I like getting free guns. I like 2011s, but then Dan Wesson is why I stay away. Which one, my DWX? The Dan Wesson DWX is not actually a 2011, but I get what you're saying. The finish is shit. You like the E-Series, any recommendation? I like the E-Series. Obviously, it's a 2-button design, doesn't have changeable reticles, and it's quite small. But the reticle is very visible even in bright daylight, and I've never had a problem with it losing zero. If I lose my interest in guns, would I reopen and sell your private inventory because I feel like I'm missing something? No. No, I don't. I can't explain to you what you're missing. My theory is that you're asking me if I correlate my gun business to my personal hobby of guns. Those two are completely separate. They have nothing to do with one another. The only reason I have the FFL is because I wanted the FFL. It has nothing to do with guns. If I lose my interest in my personal collection, none of them are going in the store again. I will sell them to a auction house because there's, number one, too many to want to sell out of my store, and number two, none of you will pay what they're worth. I learned in New York, apparently, with credit card purchases, they have a tracking number for ammo. Isn't that insane? Yes. Strict gun laws don't have much impact in Chicago. Has strict gun laws, and most of the gun violence happens here is from people coming across other states and committing them. It's not just that, Mason. Gun laws only affect law-abiding citizens. So states with strict gun laws still have gangsters, people of ill repute. Sorry, I have an ingrown hair. Goes to show it's completely down to the individual. Pretty much. You have $25K in debt after going into bankruptcy. Well, that's not good. And since you have to wait 7 to 10 years before you can file again, start paying your credit cards. You buy a cheap 2011 or a 1911, next thing you know, you're chasing a Pit Viper. I can honestly say I have no desire to own a Pit Viper. I do want a Hayes Custom. They're about $4,500 and they'll outshoot a Pit Viper. I'm looking into microdots. I hear the E-Series used a lot. It might be the one. The price is reasonable. The build quality is good. It is a plastic body. Keep that in mind. But it's a very solid optic.
Okay, let's look at this game.
Yeah, exactly, Mason. What knife do you carry? I carry knives from QB because they sent them to me for free. Pistol with enough power to drop a bear at close range. Well, a 44 Magnum, a 10 millimeter, they theoretically can do it. Honestly, if you're accurate and you can hit them in the eye, you can take them down with the 22. I'm asking for your opinion, so I could probably do what you said. Again, though, I don't like to give my opinion on guns to buy if we're referring to that part of the conversation. All right, gotta go. Gotta be up at 2 a.m. All right, Grayson. Or just stay up until 2 a.m. I would pay for one. Pay for one what? One of my guns? Yeah. In your state, are you allowed to own full auto with the proper license? Yes. Virginia is one of the states that allows full transferable firearms. 17 HMR or 22 long rifle. Depends on what you're doing with it. For planking, 22. For small vermin and hunting and surviving, I'd go 17 HMR. Stone had a micro dot. Yeah. You got a Dan Wesson, though. That thing is silky smooth but pricey. If you're referring to the Dan Wesson DWX, yes. It uses CZP-10 F mags, which is why I don't really call it a 2011. But yes, it's expensive. And had the finish not come off with my fingernail, it would have been honestly an exceptional value for $2,200 to $2,500. As it is, yes, it is overpriced for what it provides. Get a CZ75 Shadow 2 for $1,000, and you have 90% of the gun of a DWX. Iron sights or red dots for self-defense on any platform. It all depends on your level of competency, brother. If you practice with red dots all the time, you're going to want a red dot. If you practice with iron sights predominantly, a red dot may not be good for you. I don't carry either way. Sometimes I carry one of my Gersons with a red dot, so I'm fine with it. Red dots have one point of aim, so keep that in mind. It makes them faster to acquire. However, only using red dots reduces your ability to use iron sights. So because it's a perishable skill. Shooting is a perishable skill. Anything that requires practice is a perishable skill. So you need to practice iron sights even if you only run red dots. What's the easiest gun to clean that you have? I've got a break action 12 gauge. You just one click and you can just run a mop through it. Would you sub one between some flip up sights on a short AR? So what I would recommend if you're thinking about running iron sight backups is I would get an optic with an etched reticle, like a primary arms. So I have a primary arms that I like to run on my ARs. It has an etched reticle, so even if the optic dies, I still have a optic. I still have a reticle. So if you're thinking about that as a backup, I would recommend just finding an optic that has a etched reticle. Yes, one of your guns, but one of the guns you have thrown. That's a lot of them. What do you think about the DP12? It's fine. It's expensive. It's not my style. If we're talking about, not the DP12. I was thinking about the Gen 2, Gen 12. The DP12 is Turkish. It's fine. You need to shoot it a lot to break it in. Do you think 17 HMR would be suitable for hog or boar? No. It's too fast. It's too fast. Doesn't cause enough permanent wound cavity damage. It does have a large shockwave behind it, but no. Typically, they use at least 30 cal for hog hunting. Shoot, I would recommend the Ruger XM. What was the chassis you were running on it? The chassis on the Ruger RXM is the Sharps Brothers. Trent, good night, dude. What's your preferred setup for ear and eye protection when shooting? I just use ballistically rated clear lenses or sunglasses because where I shoot, the steel targets are hanging. So the odds of me catching a full ricochet are very, 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 very small. Ear protection, it's whatever I have with me. I actually prefer to run in-ear squishies or in-ear monitors over-ear just because I don't like my full ear covered. Have I ever shot in competition? No. I want to, though. I like the glow-in-the-dark sights on my CZ. I don't do that. Hello. What I like about LPVOs run with no illumination. Not all of them do. Do they? Interesting. Sharps Brothers, thank you. You're welcome. Which one is the most stopping power? The one that I accurately fire. I'm out of here. Thanks for the live tonight. It was fun. Bass, thank you for coming in, brother. Bear Creek Arsenal for uppers. Any thoughts? They're better than people give them credit for. Now, I don't know if I would build an end-all, be-all rifle out of a Bear Creek Arsenal because they are built to a price point rather than a full-on marketing quality point. But for a range gun, I have a friend of mine who swears by them for precision shooting. But as a life-saving device, I don't know if I would trust them for that. What's the hardest gun you have? Because I'm still considering getting a gun. Believe it or not, the High Point is probably the least friendly takedown gun up there because you have to knock out a roll pin just to take it apart. That's exactly why I now primary arms. And I like their glass. That's why the ACSS reticle from Primary Arms is actually used with Holosun. The A12 has the most stopping power. No. Not if you don't hit with any of the rounds. And what if you're using birdshot? Really? You run 17 HMR on farm hogs? Interesting. Do you hunt or just shoot for fun? I'm not opposed to hunting. I've just never gone. I typically shoot for fun and the challenge of being accurate with firearms. I got into guns at 38 years old. I'm not one of those guys that grew up on a farm or anything like that. Are they better though? BCAs are great bolt guns. They can be, McManus. I know. They're not they're not high three-figure uppers, so you don't like them. Thoughts on Cerakoted guns? Worth it or stupid? If you're looking to personalize your firearm, go for it. If you're looking for something just to keep stock, sometimes Cerakoting a gun can reduce its resale value, especially if you do it in a weird color. Why do you dislike Glocks besides them being ugly and bulky? They're overpriced for what you get. There's no reason to pay $500 for a Glock 19. That gun has been basically the same gun in production since 1985. It uses some modernized stuff like finally putting ambidextrous slide locks and an MOS cut, but that gun should be $300. But just like Apple charges 5 times more for their high-end computers versus, say, Dell, bad comparison, but you know what I mean. The fact that Apple uses their name to charge more, Glock does the same thing. They have excellent marketing. 17 HMR full metal jacket drops a big hog to their knees. Interesting, man. That's awesome. I just don't know if I would take it like the Texas hog hunts and stuff. They always use bigger calibers, but who knows? I guess if you got them right. I caught a ricochet in the arm shooting at an old log. It stung a lot. Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. Even though it's a reduced amount of power and it's a deformed round, it's still gonna hurt, dude. I like the BCA heavy barrels. No, I don't like them because they don't run lol. The fact that they're not 4 figures is why I don't own them. I'm an elitist. Yeah, you're also very committed to what you like. I'll put it that way. Sanity test: Apple or Android? Smoke signals, but Android. Apple doesn't even include a charging block with their phones anymore. A lot of companies don't. I'm actually not terribly worried about that. But yeah. Pistol Pete! Let's go! Much love, brother. Pistol Pete, he goes live a lot more than I do, and he has much better guns than I do, so get your ass over to his channel when he's live, kids. He's going to grow and be a bigger channel than me very soon, so get your asses over there now while he's small. Both my 450s and my 5.56 is BCA. You can have great luck with them, man. Just be careful. Yay, me too, Android for life. If I can break it through normal use, it's not really interested in it. Says the man that broke his Scorpion. No, I understand where you're coming from, McManus. You look for durability, ruggedness, and reliability, and you're willing to pay for it. So you have what you like, and you're willing to pay for it. That's the difference. If you were a person that only preferred Daniel Defense, but you had Diamondback money, that would be a different story. Like and subscribe to this man. Like and subscribe to both of them, motherfathers. Have you ever had a bad experience with the firearm? Oh, absolutely. I had a Jimenez Arms JA9, one of the worst guns I ever shot. Put one mag through it. It hurt my hand so bad, I stopped shooting it. I blew that Scorpion in the next week, lol. Yeah, but wasn't it? You said it was the suppressor's fault that the gun failed. Apple wins the war with phones technology due to accessibility. People always choose the easier option in comparison to something that takes even the minimum effort to get used to. No. Android outsells Apple by a far margin. Apple, like Glock, has the better marketing, and you're falling for it. Apple has not been competitive in the cell phone market since they came out with the 6 that bends. Honestly. There are people that still rock iPhone 7s that are completely happy with it. In terms of industry, things like that, if it wasn't for their rabid fan base, if it was a straight phone-to-phone comparison, Apple loses every time. You can own hand cannons like 500 Smith & Wesson and Desert Eagle, but over 10-round mags are scary. Yep. Am I going to SHOT Show? Yes, I will be going to SHOT Show, mainly because I'm also not running the store full-time anymore. Not the Jimenez. Yep. Yeah, and technically Scorpion kept running and finished the course. Right, it just blew the suppressor off, right? Successfully cycled shorties through your... I've never tried. You need an adapter to make it run right. Samsung also makes many of the parts that go into iPhone. Yeah, that's an additional thing, Mason. Apple only has the programming. If you open up a Samsung, or if you open up an Apple, there are Samsung chips, Hitachi chips, back when they were still in business, LG parts in there. So that is another good point. I'm happy to accept I'm wrong. I didn't actually know that. Thank you for educating me. It's fine, Mason. It's just interesting that marketing. So do you remember when they came out with the $50,000 Mac Pro that you had to pay $1,000 for the wheels, and their Pro monitor that you had to pay $1,000 for the stand? That is marketing bullshit controlling the industry. You can build a computer that would destroy an $50,000 Mac Pro for about $6,000. Why is 44 special, like impossible to find in store? Because a lot of stores don't like spending the money to bring it in. It's very expensive and hard to come across in the wild. So because distributors charge too much for it, it's not worth it. Why did I ban you? I have no idea, dude. Wait, is there certain caliber states like Cali and I'm not sure about the caliber restrictions, but I know ammo type restrictions exist, such as New Jersey, you're not allowed to carry hollow points. Screens on Apple have been LG forever, as far as I know. Oh yeah, like none of the parts inside of them. Like I've got an old Apple Mac Pro out there, or Mac Pro sitting out there. All the parts in it are just stock. It uses Intel chips. It uses Samsung parts. The memory is SK Hynix, which is not owned by Apple. 90%, 95% of Apple is air. Apple is the air in the bag of chips you bought, but you bought that bag of chips because the marketing was awesome. $1,000 earbuds when you can get the same quality for like $100. Yes, go watch Dank Pods. Dank Pods did a roundup. He uses like $40 in-ear monitors. He's a professional drummer, and he uses like $40 in-ear monitors that are better. If I ask, where is your AK-47? In a safe. New York doesn't have caliber restrictions. I believe California does. The OS is what makes Apple stuff good. Oh, absolutely. I'm not going to deny. It's the same reason I recommend Glocks to people that don't want to have any sort of fun with their gun. So if you only want one gun, you're not going to be an enthusiast. You're not going to have a wall of firearms. Get you a Glock. It does the job. If you want a phone that doesn't allow you to be creative, get an Apple. If all you want to do is pick up the phone and use it, get an Apple. If all you want is a phone to make phone calls and have mediocre 4-year-old video quality, get an Apple. But if you want enthusiasm, you get something Android-based. You get a fucking Samsung. Despite all their problems with the 7 exploding and things like that, and company policies, etc., Samsung builds things. They build TVs, monitors, chips, memory modules. They build everything. They don't just market it. So my AirPods have noise canceling. A lot of them actually do. The Samsung Beams do as well, honestly. More and more $100 in-ear monitors do these days, brother. Yeah, AirPod Pros have noise canceling, Mason. The base ones don't. No, you can't. I can guarantee you that. If you show me 10 modified Glocks, they're all modified exactly the same. They have cut frame or cut slides, extended mag releases, and usually a Jimmini fucking trigger. And they don't have the most aftermarket. 1911s have a bigger aftermarket. So, also, stop spamming, dude. Type slower. Engage in the conversation. This isn't Twitch. You think steel BB guns is fully automatic and shoot steel BBs at 500 feet per second, but only 24 round mags, good for less lethal? No, 9501 is absolutely correct. Using a pellet gun, BB gun, anything like that for defense is not recommended. You wear a heavy Carhartt, your 500 foot per second BBs are not going through that. I love Skull Candy. I usually wear Skull Candy Crushers when I'm playing VR. High point or a crossbow? Either. They cost the same. Yeah, honestly. Show, what's up? Sorry, my live stream keeps on lagging for some reason. Do I like high power pistols? Yes. What's handgun do you recommend a first time gun owner? I don't recommend an individual firearm for anybody I don't know. What I recommend you do is you go to a gun store. You find a gun that you think you like. See how it fits in your hand. If you like the way it fits in your hand, find a gun range that will allow you to rent that firearm. Shoot that firearm. It's a lot less expensive than buying the wrong gun. Trust me, I know a lot of people have had buyer's remorse immediately. Then buy that gun. Otherwise, you're just going to listen to everybody telling you to buy a Glock or a Smith & Wesson and shit like that, and you may not like them. You may love them, you may not like them. So the best thing to do is use your own personal opinion in terms of the feel. In terms of reliability, Smith & Wesson, Glock, FN, Canik, they're all extremely reliable guns. What's the coolest 1911 you own? My coolest 1911 is probably my STI Grandmaster. It's a full competition race gun. I was asking because I had a friend arguing it, and I told him no. Yeah, don't do it. Also, if you use an air gun in defense of your life and you manage to kill somebody, the consequences are just as severe. 1911 versus Glock breakdown. No, Glock's stupid. Skull Candies also have a slick design, not too much and not too little. Agreed. They are on the basier side for most of their stuff, but I like that. STI Grandmaster is Springfield, right? No, STI is its own company. They eventually became Staccato, but STI is a manufacturing company that created the 2011 platform. Back on the distributors, few places here don't back the stores with guns. It gets shipped from the store after purchase. Doesn't work like that for you. I have the ability to order guns. They'll ship them to me when we order them. I do special orders. You can order through me online. In that respect, yeah. Distributors don't give stores guns for their inventory. If you are, hang on a second. If you are buying a gun from a dealer and it's in stock, the dealer paid for that firearm. They own that firearm. Dusty, what's up? Happy Wednesday. What's up, Daniel? Glock 43X or Hellcat Pro, which would you rather own? Never a Glock. Best carry position for someone on the heavier side. That's again a personal thing. I carry at the 4 o'clock position. I'm 235 pounds. I'm 6'4", so. Would I like to live back in the Wild West? No. I like air conditioning. Your Grandmaster is literally the prettiest gun I've ever seen. Thank you. I've always been a diehard Skull Candy fan, and before I discovered Skull Candy way back in the day, I liked the iFrogs. Never had the iFrogs. Do I prefer 70 or 80 series? Always going to be a 70 series. 80 series was created because moms were saying that the 1911 wasn't safe back in the late 70s, so Colt came out with the Series 80 in 1980 because it was required or requested in order to guarantee a safer firearm. It doesn't. Series 80 is a compromise made so that Colt could continue to get contracts. The gun shouldn't exist. So I would never prefer a gun that shouldn't exist over one that does. I hate Glocks the way they look, the way they smell. There you go. How can you hate something so reliable, though? Because I'm an enthusiast. It's the same reason I hate Apple. I'm a computer enthusiast. If I were to take an Apple apart and set it on a cardboard box like I did with this, it wouldn't run. Better than a High Point. Meh. There's a lot of misinformation in regards to suppressors. It's a tool to reduce muzzle flash and save your own eardrums when hunting and sport shooting. 100%. It was not originally created for snipers. It was designed for the exact reasons you just said. I'm a thicker guy and I like to carry in the 1 or 2 o'clock. This dude hates on Glocks but runs a 1911. We all know Glock is more reliable. You can tune the trigger to a 1911 feel. No to everything you just said. If you think you can make a striker fire feel like a 1911, you're fooling yourself. You are living a fucking delusion when you believe that a 5-part trigger bar assembly trigger will ever feel like a single pull linear trigger. You're absolutely fucking stupid, and I won't brook that. In fact, I know you're about to clap back, so do you have respect for Glock at least? If they were $300, I would have nothing bad to say about them. I'll put it that way. My problem is more with the company than with the gun themselves. And here's something funny you may not know. I have a Glock tattoo. Yeah. Glocks don't jam. Tell me you don't shoot without telling me you don't shoot. Yep. I can, yeah, so $500 is too much for a Glock. It's a $300 gun. As proved by every company that manufactures a Gen 3 clone and sells it for under $300. I'm giving Glock the benefit of the doubt by allowing them to stay at $300 without me complaining about it. You can get a good Glock trigger, but it's never going to be 1911. Exactly, Bruce. That middle finger was on point. Yep. Well, till you cover the tattoo up. I can't do it for a year. Also, I told everybody that if they pay up, I'll keep it after next year. Glock's jam. I can make a Glock jam 100% of the time if I want to. All I have to do is limp wrist it. If you limp wrist a 1911, it's still going to run. No, retype it, dude. I'm not hunting comments, you. Buying a Glock seems like selling yourself short for no good reason. Why settle for mediocrity when a vastly superior option is right next door? Because they're marketing, man. Just like Apple. Their marketing makes it seem like they're the best. If you don't clean it, you actually run it. Yeah. You still hate Chiappa as a company too? Yeah. Chiappa can kiss my ass. And if you work for Chiappa, sorry. I'll pick my G2C up before my Glock 19. I'm sorry. Also, a G2C has double strike capability, which the Glock doesn't. And it's under $300. What do you think about Charlie Kirk? Terrible situation. A person was killed for their beliefs, which should never happen. That's as far as I go with it. I don't know the man, didn't know the man. I've seen his shorts and his videos, but I never actually met the man. Say what you want, but I live in America. He had the right to free speech. Woke up, got down, now I'm feeling like death. Sorry, honey. My Desert Eagle trigger feels better than a Glock on a bad day, lol. What's your take on expensive Geisley dropping triggers? The word you used is apt. Expensive. For my Glock builds, I've run mostly Steel City Arsenal. I will say that I do have a Jimmini trigger for my RXM that I got to install in it. But Geisley triggers are cool, but they're expensive. You're spending a lot of money to get the name. Apple sucks. I am with you. Thank you. Is that a Ruger Bearcat revolver? No, that is actually a Heritage Barkeep. Just a 3-tone. Ever fired a Daewoo DR200? I did fire the Lionheart LH9, which was basically the same gun. If that's the handgun. If you're talking about the rifle, no, I have never fired one. I've held one a bunch of times. My buddy had one at his store forever. Any reason not to touch a Canik TP9 SF Elite? No. They're solid guns. Now, early Canik guns had some firing pin issues and I think recoil issues, but a modern SF Elite is solid, dude. The Geisley 2-stage AR trigger is unmatched. Okay. I don't shoot long guns enough to really know the difference, McManus, and that's another thing. A lot of guys that shoot like a lot more rounds than me, they have absolutely the right to say stuff like that. And I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be like a buck with you. Okay, I'm gonna be 100% with you, 90. So I have a Ruger RXM. It's a $390 gun or $400 gun. It has a $380 chassis that it has now, and a $500 optic. So I now own a $1,200 Ruger, and I bought a $80 Timney trigger for it. So I have a $1,300 Glock that will shoot less accurately than my 1911. So to say that but the RXM is priced right to start with. So $500 is just still too much money in my opinion. I agree with you, Charlie Kirk. Whatever you want to think about him, encourage free thinking and open debate. If that's not something to encourage, then I suggest moving to the Middle East. Ha! I agree, Mason. In a perfect world, which company would you like to take over and rebrand, rework? Glock. I would drop the price to $300 and maybe put all the features that people do aftermarket to them. Got any lever actions? Yes. Did your father and mother teach you about guns and how to shoot? No! One of my friends did. Glock versus High Point. I'm still taking the High Point on principle. I love that you read 90% of the comments. Only dumb comments get ignored. Thank you. I tried to. I've never messed with the pistol triggers from Geisley. I heard they're just as good, but they're very expensive. I run TriggerTech Diamond 1.5 pound, 4 pound adjustable triggers for my competition ARs. Nice. TriggerTech is awesome too. I shot a Bergara B14 with the TriggerTech in it. It was amazing. Accuracy for sure. 1911 is built different. Yep, bro. Cleaning my Striker Fire Springfields give me so much anxiety when I can literally move the barrel around. Fit is terrible. That's another thing. Chamber support. Do you have it or do you not? The Elite I'm looking at is a 2018 model, which is older for that model. Yeah, but what I'm referring to is, well, that is kind of getting there, but the TP9 line was like 2016, 2015 when they were having the problems. I'm pretty sure they had it sorted out by the 2018s. Kirk donates $5. Thank you very much. We appreciate any donations that you guys feel free to give us. Another thing to do here, I'm talking now because it's been over an hour. Hoodies, 46 left. They're $45 plus shipping, figure about $50. There's going to be 1X, 2X, 3X, and a very limited amount of 4X, black, gray, and green. I didn't see the comment, dude. I don't know how I keep missing it, brother. Instead of telling me to read your comment, just retype the comment, brother. Bruce comes in with the donation. 90 comes in a donation. Jesus, thank you guys. You guys are amazing. Those donations go directly to feeding my dog. Also my guns. Appreciate it, guys. If I wasn't spending all my money on the gym and self-improvement guns, you'll have me broke. Ha! Understood, thank you. Yep, guns would have me broke. You know, I understand what you're saying. Hi, Daria. We were talking about you earlier. Bruce is awesome. Yeah, he is. 1911s are for comps, Glocks for EDC. Glocks are the 1911s of the new gens. Yeah, but, you know, you get a good 2011 compact, dude. I still say a 1911, and I carry my 1911 EDC every day, and I'll trust my life to my 1911s more than I will even my $1,300 custom Glocks. Choo-choo! Yeah, start a hype train for donations. Everybody that donates gets the woo-woo. No, 2011 is the new 1911. Yeah, is there such thing called an AR-15 style pistol? Yes, they're called ARPs, AR pistols. I hear you, me too. Yep, Glock 10 millimeter blow up sometimes due to lack of case support. I didn't know that. If they do, they do. What breed of dog do you have? German Shepherd, American Staffordshire, and Dumb. I'm not a fired handgun, but I've fired a large number of rounds from a 12 gauge slug shots. My family have military history, so ownership is permitted. Well, at least you get to have some kind of play with them. That's awesome, dude. Am I high? No, I am tired. Paul comes in with the $2 donation. Yay! Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Got to make some smaller hoodies on the next go round. The problem is hoodies are very expensive. So a 1X, an extra large, I mean, honestly, for a hoodie, how small are you? Just wear it like a dress. Put a belt on it. No, we'll see. So, it's more expensive to do very small runs. And here's the thing. I made just large t-shirts and I sold 3 of them. I made some 4X t-shirts and I sold 2. So, ICCW 1911-2. I have a 10 millimeter one and an EMP 40. Love them both. Nice. Oh, God, with the staccato. Who's talking about staccato? Is America a good place to live? Yes. Ignore the news. Yes. 145 pounds when soaking wet. Then wear the big hoodie. Here's what you do. You buy it. 4 o'clock versus 3 o'clock. 4 isn't too awkward to reach for. Much difference? For me, it's not. And it's more comfortable when I'm sitting in a car, believe it or not. Because the 3 o'clock puts it right there by the belt buckle. 4 o'clock puts it in the back. I have a long torso, so when I sit, you see me when I sit here, I tend to sit down because my ass is moving forward because my back is long. There's over 50 states with differing standards of living and laws. Got to be more specific. Yeah, that's true, Mason. Just bought a Stoger STR-9 Combat. Good purchase. Sure is. I like that gun. I hate staccato because they're just 9mm. Can't justify that kind of money for just 9mm. Yes and no. Staccato is just overpriced for what they provide. When they were STI, I have an STI Grandmaster, 38 Super, true bore barrel, full competition gun with the full side rail, with the Seymour optic on it. When that gun was brand new, it was $2,500. Even adjusting for inflation, it was about $3,800. Taking that into account, it's still a better gun than the Staccato XC at $4,500. And my STI was hand fit, hand finished. Staccatos are just touched. They're not hand fit like a Hayes Custom at the same price. Where's the Discord where you can rate your viewers' build? Just go to Discord and search the Jimmini Show. You can join it. But I don't do those kind of things. I'm not a React video guy. Missed when they were STI and you can get a 2011 and 40 and 10. So yeah, that too. McManus Facts, I like that. Hoodies aren't for you, man. They're for girls that stays over and want them big. Lol. Can I see? Can you see what? I can't bring up the Discord on my computer because I can't turn it. Hey, can somebody put the Discord link in there? Currently doing a lot of short AR builds. Any tips? Keep your quality. Don't skimp on anything just because you're doing more than one. Make sure that when you build your gun, you treat every gun like it's the one you're going to trust your life to. Yeah, so I am not... YouTube, throughout the course of the last decade, you see so many people. Sniper Wolf... PewDiePie, all these people that used to be Let's Play gamers have transitioned in becoming reactors, where they take other people's work and they laugh at it. I never want to be that guy. If I get to the point where I'm doing that kind of content, you guys have the right to come and take my sloth and beat me to death. Bootleg adjustable. Yes, bootleg is awesome. I ordered that for Mr. Bruce, and that's a way to go. It also prevents you from having to take your gun and put a different gas block on it. Think you should go to sleep, buddy. You look like you need it. Yeah, I'm going to bed in a little bit. 11 o'clock is when I'm ending it. So 10 minutes. I got 10 minutes in me. I couldn't see the number. You drink Powerade? Yeah, but I tend to buy sugar-free stuff, and the sugar-free stuff isn't always readily available in my area. Thank you, Cody. Those are Stellar BCGs. Yeah, and they're only a couple of $100. So the price to get an adjustable bolt carrier group so you don't have to pay a gunsmith to change out your front sight block or your front gas block is worth it in my opinion. Because you spend $150 to have somebody change your gas block, unless you do it yourself, obviously. But you're going to pay $150 to get somebody to change your sight block plus the price of the gas block. So you might as well just get the BCG. Especially when they're on sale, and they go on sale a lot. Unrelated, but what's your death row meal? If I were to wind up on death row, it would be steak. A lot of fucking steak. Like, a lot of steak. A ton of steak. I want to die with meat sweat steaks. Love the PC setup. Do you have any problems with it being not case-based? Here, let me show you guys before we end. It's not the way I normally run my computers. And yes, ever since I got a dog, I'm having a lot of problems with dust buildup because dog fur and dog skin comes off quickly. Believe it or not, you're not allergic to the dog's fur. You're allergic to his dander, which is the same thing as dead skin cells. But yeah, so this was the computer case. You can see it was a full custom water build. I sold that processor because I'm going to build a more expensive computer. Hey, look, a Gerson case. Because this is the case I'm building in. This case is a Corsair 1000D. It's much larger, and that's a empty Gatorade bottle on top of a high point. And that's a bunch of guns. And that's my dog. Hey, Rocky, you want to come say goodbye? There's only one adjustable gas block that seems reliable, but generally, yeah, I don't trust adjustable gas blocks. Yeah. Someone around your state area asking about CQB training. Any of that big around you or smaller classes? Did you just show your ding-dong to my crowd? You did, didn't you? Middletown Firearms has Middletown training, and they do a little bit of everything. They're the guys in my area. Do I play PR? What's PR? I guess that answers your question. But yeah, there's my dog. Would you ever build and sell a PC? Building a PC that isn't custom water-cooled is overly expensive for the person buying it because there's not much I can do to a stock PC that's going to justify the price of me building it. But if somebody wanted like a full hardline custom built water cooled PC, I would consider doing that, but it's not going to be cheap. You're going to pay me the price of a used car because, I bill at about $100 an hour. Superlative arms adjustable gas blocks. Bootlegs are way better. That's a cool dog. Bigger bed than I got. Yeah, that's actually, I used to have a part on my couch called a chaise longue. That was the cushion from it, and he really likes it. Dude, just go to bed, dude. Go to the bedroom. Go get in the bed, dude. If you're tired, go to bed. He loves being around me so much that he'll just sleep there, even though he would rather be in the bed, which is more comfortable. How old are you? I am 46 years old this year. Although technically I died in 2017, so I'm technically 8. Yeah, I am literally old. My birth date has a 1 in front of the century. But anyways, if you want a hoodie, message me. Also, I'm going to do another run of these shirts. They're $25. So I'll figure 30 with shipping. So you might as well buy a hoodie anyway. Awesome. Thank you for your information, Swoop. Swoop, 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 swoop. You got any recommendations on a good, not expensive part kits for an ambi-lower? If you're talking about for like AR, no. Serious? Yes. You're old enough to be my dad, allegedly. When can we get a range stream? As soon as I sign up with Twitch, because you cannot shoot from the range on a live stream. Jay the Man, welcome to the bronze level. Thank you, brother. I'm actually going to do some batch filming tonight, so you're going to get early access to videos. If you guys want to start doing that, I will start putting up more content under the members only section until they go live. That way you guys can get up to a month's worth of videos for like $2 freaking bucks early. Is a 30-30 good for 300 yards? No, I mean it can do it, but 30-30 is like 150 yards or closer, honestly. Just learn there are people who don't own guns. What the fuck? Stay away from those people. Pretty much, man. You know, if you're stopped in the state of Texas and you don't have a gun in the car, the cops are legally obligated to give you one. By the way, that's a joke. But yeah, so we are going to end the night. So come back on Friday. We will be streaming from 8 p.m. until whenever. If I can make it 3 hours, I will. My dog is literally the tireder of the two of us. You ready to go to bed, buddy? Or do you need to go outside? Do you need to go potty? You need to go outside? Yeah, he wants to go outside. Come here, buddy. You got to come say goodbye to people so they know that you're not a dead, stuffed animal. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. Look. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. Come here. So, in case you don't know, this is Rockford. Come here. Come here. He is very resistive to me picking him up. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. He's like, what are you doing? I just woke up. But this is Rocky. He's amazing. He's my service dog. He recognizes when I'm literally going to pass out, not when I'm just tired. But yeah, he's the bestest boy ever. Yeah, look at that. And this is what he does, man. He's super chill with me, but he plays like an idiot at the park. You have a good night, sir. I'll catch you on the next time you're live. Thank you. Have a good night. Yeah, so probably won't make it. Hey, it was cool having you in again, McManus. It's like old time. Good conversation. Come here, buddy. Oh, his ears are back. He's not feeling it. He doesn't like when I talk to nothing. To him, he doesn't understand what a phone is. So, good night, everyone, and Rockford. Yep. So we'll see you later. Thank you for enjoying my crotch. I'll give you one last look at the wall, and then I'm gonna go walk him and go to bed. So that is guns. There will be more guns on Friday, I promise you. So come back, baby, come back. Give it all to me. I don't know the words, but